being held digitally in this current era. Past month, there may be lot many, but I think in the current times, this is the first healthcare technology conference that is going digital. So we'll start like to wish all our frontline Corona warriors, those who are working day and night in this current pandemic, adverse situations and taking care of patients. And I also would like to wish on behalf of all of us, the Corona warriors who are felt sick during this time and they are undergoing treatment, maybe at home or maybe in the hospital. So we wish and pray for their speedy recovery. And of course, how can I forget the big B, the Mahanayak, who has got again, who himself has got infected with Corona pandemic, and so we wish speedy recovery from him also. To have HitCon in Rajkot is giving me a bit of nostalgic feelings because Rajkot is my birthplace. So I got my roots attached to the Rajkot. અને એવું કહેવાય અને એવું છે કે રાજકોટ એ મારું મોસાળ પણ છે એટલે એક બહુ સરસ મારું બાળપણ રાજકોટમાં વીતેલું છે અને મારું કરંટ કહીએ અત્યારે પ્રેઝન્ટ એ પણ રાજકોટમાં હાથમાં છે કારણ કે મારું સાસરું પણ રાજકોટમાં છે સો it is a very good nostalgic feeling to be in Rajkot in front of the medical fraternity of Rajkot, being the part of team HitCon. We are a team of 4 doctors, all family physicians, and we have started this journey around 6 years back. We keep on doing new things, and our main aim and motto is to promote use of technology in healthcare, and that's what we are doing. So during this half-day technology conference, we will take you across the journey of various topics, which we have curated very neatly and which will definitely be helpful to all of you. And at the outset, I would like to thank Team Rajkot for accepting this invitation, especially Dr. Jay Dirwani and Dr. Rukesh Bhai. And of course, how can I forget Dr. Chetan Lalseta, who has been quite instrumental in organizing this event. So I welcome you all again and I will request all of you that at the end of the session, there will be a feedback form which will be shared in the comments in the YouTube as well as on the Facebook. So do fill up this feedback form which will give us the insight in what really the medical fraternity thinks and what everybody is interested in learning. So with these few words, I hand over the proceedings to Dr. Krupal. Dr. Krupal, all yours. And once again, welcome on behalf of Team HitCon and IMA Rajkot. Thank you very much. Welcome. Dr. Krupal, please.
Good morning, all of you. Thank you, Dr. Pragnesh, sir, for such a nice introduction of all of us. So I welcome all of you on behalf of IMA Rajkot. Today's webinar is all we know is about HitCon Health Tech Conference, and which is presented for the first time in Saurashtra. So not taking much time, we'll begin. And so for presidential address, I invite Dr. Jay Dirwani, sir, to begin with the over to Jay Dirwani, sir.
Jay, unmute ho. Jay, unmute up.
Dr. Jay, sir.
Thank you, Krupal. Thank you, Pragnesh Bhai. Good morning, all respected seniors, dear colleagues, and our today's faculties. On behalf of IMA Rajkot, I, Dr. Jay Dirwani, extend a very warm welcome to all of you for today's our HitCon conference. As we all know, we doctors are routinely so much engrossed in our routine practices that we hardly could devote any time to learn some technological advances happening in this world, and which could in fact be so much helpful in making our routine practices so easy. So in other words, if I say we are so much busy with learning biology that we don't have any time to learn physics, and that's all disadvantage to all of us. So today's IMA Rajkot has brought a battery of such faculties from across the country who have not only mastered the biology but have also mastered the physics, and hence there is chance for all of us to convert our disadvantage into the full advantage with their help. Today's in session, let us learn from these masters how to make the maximum or the optimum use of gadgets in our practice, how to make our presence felt online and on social media, how to grow our businesses using the digital platforms, and how to make the powerful PowerPoint presentations to make a different niche, apart from many small other things, which I'm sure should be very much helpful in our day-to-day practices. So wishing you all a very happy learning, and Over to Krupal for the further proceedings.
Thank you, Jay sir. So moving ahead, starting with our today's webinar, our first eminent speaker is Dr. Kashyap Adeshna about how to make a good PowerPoint presentation. Making PPT itself is very challenging to many of us, and over and above it, making it decorative and attractive to keep the audience eye on it is no less than an examination to us. So to start with, I'll just introduce Kashyap sir in brief. Sir is a young and dynamic orthopedic surgeon from Junagadh with special interest and expertise in complex trauma surgeries. Sir has been invited regularly at many state and national level conferences. Sir has been national faculty in basic as well as advanced AO courses for the orthopedic surgeons. So I invite now Dr. Kashyap sir to begin with. Over to you, Kashyap sir.
Thank you very much, Krupal bhai, for a nice introduction. So I'll share my screen first. So there was some change in order because Dr. Devasis is having some technical trouble. So he'll be later on. So I'll be speaking on how to make a good PowerPoint presentation. First of all, I would like to thank IMA Rajkot as well as Hitcon organizing committee for inviting me for giving me this presentation. So I'll this presentation of mine covering not the technical aspect but the principal aspect of making a PowerPoint presentation, because a technical aspect becomes a workshop in which it can be in a half a day or so. So we'll be overviewing what are the principles which we need to take care while we are doing PowerPoint presentation. Yeah. I'm trouble having my So that's a very nice saying by Albert Einstein. If you can't explain it, you don't understand it well enough. So whenever we present our presentation, it is a prime duty to be very simple, palatable to the audience which we are doing it, rather than very complex. So my flow of talk during this presentation will be covering three aspects: before presentation, during presentation, and after presentation. There are something which you need to check before presentation, audience, venue, and some other preparation of the talk. The during presentation, what you have to do, it will be detailing about the content, presentation, and the delivery. Then after also what you have to do, that also I will cover in short detail. So first of all, we are invited to give a talk. We need to understand the audience. So what is the type of presentation? Is it a speaker, or it's a paper presentation, or it's a thesis? So you need to modify your presentation according to timing, according to the rule book of that presentation, or sometimes there is a time limit. Understand what is the type of presentation. You need to understand your audience also. Giving a orthopedic fraternity, the words and the pictures and everything which I using will be different, while this is common medical platform. So we give the images, the examples, everything which is common. Same way, sometimes you are to non-medical group also, then your medical will not be there. So we need to understand our audience. We need to understand the knowledge of the audience. So we need to know what is their actual knowledge and what is their perceived knowledge. What is the gap of knowledge in between, in which we are going to work. We need to know the expectation of the audience. Sometimes what happens, there is a big hit movie coming, the trailer and everything, but the picture is not that good. Expectations were very high, and the picture was average, then picture will go flop. So we need to set expectation of our audience. Yeah. So first of all, whenever we are to speak anywhere, we need to see what are the venue arrangement and the resources which are at the venue and what is given to us. What is the hall? It's a small room, it's a big hall. What is the stage? It is elevated or it's a level. All that on your presentation effects. Sometimes if there's a flat hall and the screen is very, and the people will not be able to see the lower part of your presentation. That makes a difference. So you need to be, what is the environment where you are going to speak. We need to see that whether screen LED or projector, because the LED screens are very, they are usually 16 by 9. So if the LED screens are there, you don't keep a very bright background. So if there is a the room which is not well lit and it's a projector, then you need to have a bright. So these are the things which you need to take care. What is the slide format which the audio person are going to give, the event manager are going to give? Because there are two slide formats, one is 4 and one is 16:9. So if it's a inconclusive, you don't know what is going to, then you 16:9, because it's going to be the future of every presentation, and most of the places it is 16:9, and 16:9 is easy to convert in 4:3 hours. So we need to see what are the software level version which a usual person are doing. So if I am making my presentation in 2019, my version is older version, then some of my feature won't work. In that case, you will have a real trouble in your presenting while you are doing. Some video may not work, effect may not work. So we need to understand what is the level of their software version. You can see PowerPoint present accordingly whenever you are going to give that lecture in version of Microsoft Office or PowerPoint or any other say. You need to see what are the, see whether your laptop is going to be there or their laptop you are supposed to use, whether there is a preview room is there or not, the cables which are there. See, I was lecture in Rajkot Orthopedic Society, and I went there with Innova Yoga, which was having no VG output. It was HDMI regular. It was not having HDMI mini connection. It was having a micro HDMI output, which audiovisual person was not having. So at that time I had my hard disk ready, so I could immediately give my presentation into hard disk. So we need to see what hardwares which are available there, and you need to keep a backup in storage. Is sometimes like the same experience which I had. My micro HDMI port was not compatible with the hardware which were there with the audiovisual. So I had a hard disk. So you need to have a hard disk or a pen drive. You can even store into mobile. You can upload it to the cloud, or you can you just mail itself to yourself. In a mail, your attachment will be there, which you can download in emergency. Also nowadays you can upload it to your social media like Telegram or WhatsApp also. To prepare, see, once we know what is going to be the setup, then to the before presentation, how we prepare ourselves. So we need to prepare resources. See, if I'm going to give a talk on this subject like presentation, I need to go through what is the current status, what are the current recommendations. Then I decide what will be of my talk. Then I segregate material into the mold of the flow which I did, and then I start actually making the presentation. So my presentation which is given, or which presentation which I am doing on my computer, is actually made on first, and then only the implementation of making of presentation happens. Then after I have made it, I have to edit it, I have to cut the unnecessary things, and then at the last rehearse it. So there is a one instruction, this is from a book known as a Slidology, where if they to give talk of say some 15 to 20 minutes, which is a new to you, you need to do research which may take up your 6 to 20 hours. Same way you need to do your audit, decide the flow of talk, everything takes up time. Then the build one takes the highest time. So then at the last you need so total some 30 to 40 hours of preparation goes present before actually presenting it. So we need to know that, okay, what is the deadline of my talk, and I need to do that in before that, not at the last moment, this captain is doing. So what are the content of any talk? So content of the content, you need to define learning outcome of my talk, your talk. So what I did, in the first slide, that my learning outcome of this slide, my presentation is going to flow like this. So people know where you're going. Then second thing, you need to know what is the last message which to give to my audience. So you need to create a closer. Know what are the outcome. Once you know what are the closer, then you actually design your whole presentation. The presentation usually, in a 3 part. It's the set or a start. Then comes the main content part of it. Then the closer or the last message. Once you have done your lecture, then you edit it ruthlessly, because whenever you make your presentation one or first copy of it, it has material which is actually of no use. There are some repetitions of word and repetition of slide. To be very sharp, very precise, and you need to give it very crisp. So you edit it. You need to then prepare the resources. If you are planning to give handouts, or if you are planning to give the PDF copy of your presentation, or you need references, you need to prepare what are the notes which I am going to give. Then last is the practice, and practice. So at the start of your talk, you need to give some idea what you are going to speak. So we have to declare the learning outcome in our first 1 or 2 or 3 slides. I am going to speak on this subject to cover this much, and this is going to be the message of my talk. They should is the flow of this talk going to be. Then you tell them in advance that I am going to give you handout for this presentation. Otherwise, what happens? The audience sometimes, they keep on writing, they keep on clicking the images. For that, they lose their concentration. So if to give some material, tell them in advance. The once preparation part is gone, now I will speak about what are the basic principles of presentation currently in vogue. There are some topics which covering in short are designing a slide, background selection, the fonts, inserting images, and the videos. Well, first about the slide design. We need to have a consistent format of the background layout about our presentation. We need not keep changing one slide is of this color, slide is of other color, and learn that the less and simple is better. If you give full of knowledge, probably they lose it, not get what you want to say them. So you have to give it in a very precise place, and you try and minimize your content. You more of give your message. So you can have if you want to learn regarding this more into detail, there are recently 3-4 very fine webinars are done in groups, Gujarat Orthopedic Association, Ortho TV. There are some online resources. You can go for a good slide designs on a beach. You can go to Canva. There is a book, Slideology, and overall, otherwise is always there if you want to search anything. If you want to have templates, there are always templates which are in PowerPoint, but then you can get online templates also. There is one website, Slide Carnival, which also you can use. I recommend you not to use any designer templates. Use simple bold color, 2 or 3 color scheme, no fuss on the background, because you are not there to present a fashion show or a entertain. You are going to give them knowledge. You need to scientific presentation should have a very simple format of slide design and all that. We should avoid irrelevant or images to fill the space. There are many speakers, they keep on keep family photos, or they recent travel which they have done. So those are not going to be the message of the that scientific presentation. So it will distract, will create some different kind of thought process in your audience. Yeah. Whenever present figures, then you don't write down in figures. You try and give it into diagrams and graphs. So this is again a strong message probably which I want to give you throughout my presentation. You have to keep it small, short. Don't put everything in one slide. This is a Maharaja Thali, which is 10 of things, and when you at the end of eating, you might not be knowing that which was having what taste. Instead, whenever you are giving presentation, it has to be like this simple platter of idli, which is having only one thing, and you enjoy it. And at the end, at least you can say how wonderful that idli was. So speaking about the slide background, we keep pictures of people, nature, or texture. We should keep it solid whenever it is possible. We have to do combination of bright as well as dark. That I will cover in next few slides. So then you have to do contrast selection, color selection, then themes, and difficult color or color for color blinds should be used. And whenever you use dark background, it is always better, because most of the time either people are looking on the LED screen, or if say this webinar is, most of the people will be looking on their mobile. The mobile which is very bright, that is very close to your eyes. So it gives you less eye strain when you use dark background. Also, it consumes less power also. So the basic themes which we use, two basic themes which we use, are a dark background or light background. You can both, but they have some difference, what should be used when. So whenever there is, ambient light in the hall, there is a big hall, there is a LED screen, it is better you use a dark screen. But if you are presenting in a small room, the room is not well lit, then you use a light background. So because the background, it gives some light to that room. Then dark, whenever, then it's not good to print on handouts, which is vice versa with the light background. Object will definitely glow when you will be working on dark background. Light background will be good when you want to show the shadows and all that. This is a typically example of a slide which you should avoid. That's a very bright color and many colors which probably straining to your eyes, and you will not be able to. So these are the slide which you need to avoid doing this type of slide. So a texture background, it gives lot of strain to your eyes, and don't use this. This lightly textured background can be used, but as far as possible, I would suggest you to use a blank or a flat background rather than this texture. And this is a gradient type of background which many people use. The problem with the gradient background is that one end of your slide it's dark, and one end of your slide it's bright. So you cannot, font selection becomes very difficult. So because the font, some point of some area of your presentation, the font will not be contrasting much. So you should also avoid this type of pictures of nature which are distracting thought process of audience as well as to the vision of the audience. So these pictures which you should avoid. So this is a slide. If we can see everything is straining. If there is a low contrasting color, then it will not be very highlighting. If you use a combination of very bright color, it will be very difficult. Red, green, blue, green, and red are typically the color combination which you need to avoid when presentation. So what you have to do for selection of colors? Go to the PowerPoint palette. There, this type of palette you will be able to see. Out of that palette, if you want to use dark background, the outer aspect of this palette, and the same time use the fonts from the inner aspect. So it will be a dark background and a light fonts. Same way you can do vice versa. If you want to do light background, then use from the center part and use your fonts from the outer part of the palette. This is a typically another background which, other than I'm using in right now my presentation, this is also a very good when you are doing LED screen, black background, another dark, another semi-dark background, light background in which you have a dark colors. So these are the backgrounds which I said. Now, see, there are sometimes the people keep on writing the whole paragraph. So what happens psychologically when you have something material which is written on your PowerPoint presentation, then people tend to read everything. So before you speak, they read it. So there is a mismatch between your mind and their mind. So always avoid writing paragraphs on that. So whenever you are using, lines per slide, then you use not more than 6 lines per slide. You should not be using more than per line, and you should avoid putting full stop at the end. And preferably, you should not do anything important thing in the lower 1/4 of your slide, because people will, because of the audience, people will not be able to see the lower 1/4 of your presentation. So you need to minimize the line detail. I will give you the live example. So if this is a slide which says that can minimize line details. So there are lines which I'm going to read. One is the start with action word and avoid full sentence. Check spelling errors and synonyms from thesaurus. Use bullets and sub bullets and no sub and avoid punctuation mark. So what if I want to minimize this detail? So you decide what are the actions, then you rest of the thing which are not useful. So now I have decided my action words, and these are the things which I want to use. Then I will use that part only. So it is the same thing, but people will now be concentrating on a speaker or a myself rather than on a slide. So same is given. You need to avoid full sentences. In fact, I have picturized that the bullets, sub-bullets, and then you avoid sub-bullets and avoid punctuation mark given in a punctuation. So that's how you need to detail. So whenever you are done with your presentation, you always go for content verification. You do spelling check, and you can change some word if you wish by synonyms. This is a facility given in a PowerPoint. You check for the correct name of the authors and put article reference whenever you are using article from the sources like PubMed or something. Then we come to which type we need to use. So out of fonts, there is a typing, there is a styling, there is a case, and there is a size, which will go in super detail of everything. We should use simple fonts whenever it is possible, like Arial, Tahoma, and Microsoft, which are almost same. If you want to do some change, we can use Verdana, but you should avoid serif fonts like Roman, Harrington, or Lucida handwriting. So those are actually not, see, whenever you are giving a presentation, you want to convey your scientific message and not want your people to distract in your slides. So there is a nice piece of which I recently learned from the webinar by Dr. A.J. Thakur, a senior orthopedic surgeon. What are the serif and sans serif? Serif fonts are the fonts which are having, projection. I'll give you what is that projection. I will give you a pointer, and yes, yeah, that's it. So this is, these projections are known as a fonts, and means no. So sans fonts are the fonts which are having projections. So sans serif fonts are preferable, and whenever possible, you should not use italic or underlines unnecessary in our presentation. So what are the fonts which we need to use? See, in this slide, if you see, all the fonts are of a different size. Inside of that, the size of the font is written. So if your consistent size of font you should use throughout your presentation, and you for the heading you use up to 44 to 54 size, and for the description you go up to 28 to 30. And the smaller than that are actually sometimes big audience, from the back of the audience people may not be able to see those fonts. You should at least have a minimum of 28 size. Then, so you always sentence case whenever you are writing your lines. Do not capitalize each word, and don't use uppercase because it is very distracting. Usually a line for the body. Headings in a regular slide should be left, but can be, and title usually is centered. So there are many people, facility of animation is given in PowerPoint. So using animations. So animations actually to be avoided in scientific deliberation because it is difficult to our eyes. You can animate line by line. If you want to, not you don't your audience keep on reading your slide, then you can animate line by line. Else is you can highlight the current line and you can grayscale the previous ones. These are a good way of keeping your audience stick to what you are speaking. So then comes, big part, you need to add pictures whenever medical, some orthopedic picture is there. There are some other clinical skin people to show some lesion. So what you have to do, you remove your necessary outer area which is there, in the right side picture, you can see that so many things which are not used, and see the people will first see the things which they are not. So in the left side, if you can see, the picture is edited, and the only area is high table osteotomy surgery which I have done. I want to concentrate people to see only on this, and to just change from the background. There is a framing is also highlighted in white. This is a good way of presenting your picture. If you are consequent images like there is a skin lesion to patient, so that in a second week, third week, fourth week, how it is. You should keep the orientation of your anatomy consistent. Otherwise, if the some way it is 90-degree, it's upside down, then people will get distracted. And we need to have lighting. We are doing, this type of photography. So, editing. So whenever you get any image from your mobile or your phone, then you need to edit them. How can you edit them? The best way to edit them is your mobile. So you get that image in, and there are very nice software. If you are using any Android phone, there are settings where you can go to edit, and then you can cross areas which you don't want. You can downsize also. So another trick of downsize give you is, whenever you take your smartphone photograph, like the photograph, that photograph will be than 2 MB, which will make your presentation much overloaded if there are some 10 photographs presentation. So what you do, you edit in your camera, edit here in your, then of the final editing, you take a screenshot. The screenshot dramatically reduces the size of your image. It will come into KB. And then you through the social media, and then you capture to your PowerPoint presentation. So the image quality is reasonable to present, while that image size will go very much down. And whenever you want to, insert any picture, like you are doing some presentation on your laptop, then you take from the Google and directly copy there and paste it. Sometimes that image of very high resolution and very high in data size. So that is actually not required for presentation. So it is better to make a folder simultaneously, your folder of presentation, get that image there, and from PowerPoint you make an image and then go to that. So because what will happen, it will automatically downsize your slide size. Don't just copy and paste it from. And you can downsize as the resource also. So for X-rays, because I'm an orthopedic surgeon, I can't stop myself people X-ray of the image of an X-ray. Same can be true for sonography plates or MRI plates or CT scan plates. Usually, we have seen in this is a left side picture. If you can see, it is no way is correct. So there are view boxes seen, there are patients seen, and background shadow from the curtain on my room. Flash also over to it. There are no right perspective. You see the X-ray from the obliquity of the view. The perspectives are not right, and you see the flash is also on, and the blue is seen. Everything of this you can edit and supposed to edit, because people themselves distract rather than concentrate. So in a right side image, if you can see, simply I have just cropped the unnecessary area. I have taken that in a grayscale. So these are the points which you need to take care. You should know, you should clean your lens always before taking your image. You have to keep your perspective proper by keeping your camera parallel to your view box. View box for coming unnecessary light, which actually exposure goes down because over light which is thrown in the camera sensor. You use X-ray into grayscale, it will give a better image, and it will go as a lower size image, which will be better for your of data presentation. And see that whenever you are taking any anatomic part or anatomic picture, then you don't change the dimension of that X-ray or particular CT scan. So there is another possibility. So if you have a soft copy of it, see if there is a CT scan and you want images from that, you ask your radiologist to give a copy of that. That will be a very neat and clean image and very much low in size. So what happens, that actual image is in KBs, and you take with your smartphone, you make that KB images into MB images. So it is always better you take image directly from the CR or from the source, like for something. You always the identity of. So same way, many times in a medical field, when we want focus and clarity and detail, we use images. With dynamic result and something like that, we need to use videos. So whenever you take your, you have a proper lighting and once you have done it, you edit it to downsize. You can in fact downsize it into WhatsApp. Take the only useful part of it, make a GIF of that, which will make it very low size, and you make it automatic to start in your presentation. Because many times you have seen that when a presentation is going on, the presenter is fumbling to start his video, and usually MP4 works well for Windows Media File and be used. And to run your video smoothly, you need to first, if whenever your conference management allows, you should attach your computer, so it will be definite sure sort of running your video smoothly. If it is possible in latest version of PowerPoint, you can embed it, or what happens, you can save it into older version if the event manager have an older version. Sometimes to give them in a pen drive, what you do, you take your resource videos into the, and you give that folder from which that is connected also to that pen drive, so that sometime your PowerPoint link up with that folder. And always check before presentation whether it is running or not. So slide, whenever you are doing your last slide, you give your contact details. There are many people who may need some further information, can contact you, and you keep your take home message on the last slide rather than giving the last vacation where you have taken. So people can, by the time the presentation is changing, can your message, and do not post your family pictures on last slide. About 10% of my presentation is remaining, so edit it ruthlessly, remove your slide, save a final copy of your presentation, and downsize your images and video, then save it into any of the storage media. You many a time use humor, but there is no limit to humor. Always, whenever you are using humor, use that in moderate, and always see that you're not hurting any group of people. This is also a very useful thing to master, to keep the uniformity, to attach the logo which I have attached on right size of my PowerPoint presentation. Then bonus trick, you can use your social media for content storage, which I have spoken about. And sometimes when you have a shortage of time, you remember the number slide, which is your conclusion slide. Say, for example, this is a 40-second slide running, and time is, and my conclusion slide is on a 50th. So I simply, what you do is type 50 and enter, then you will directly jump to your conclusion. So even nobody in the audience or the professors will be knowing that you have actually jumped your slides. And frequently when you are working, use superscript, subscript whenever you want to use. You can use strike through. You have got synonym check facility on that, and you use smart guide when you are aligning your picture. Whenever you are delivering, you can use a laser pointer like one which I right now, and you should be concentrating more on a speech and more on a message rather than even. So in a delivery, it's a small mnemonic which you want to remember. A lecturer have a control of language. You keep an eye contact where you are presenting in audience, not on webinars. You have a comedy, but as I told you, you have to be in moderate, and you have to control. You have to control on your timing also. You be prepared for some unexpected event on your side, or sometime from some question comes, and you have to do your rehearsal beforehand, and you engaging your crowd, because sometime after say 2, 3, 4 minutes start distracting. You ask some question, throw some challenge to them, they will get engaged, and what your audience is responding. Sometimes they are yawning and you are going on speaking. What happen at the last, once your presentation is done, always review and feedback. Always be critical about what you have spoken about and how your thing went, whether it went well or there improvement. Get some feedback from audience. As Dr. Pragnesh is at the end of this, there will be a form link into the YouTube as well as on the Facebook page, which I am requesting all the audience to fill, so that make better and better program. And you like this webinar going going to be available on YouTube. So I need to see in my video and be critical about what I can improve less time. So every time when you present anything, you need to give commitment to your change. I will change for better. I will look for my faults. Nothing changes unless you commit to change. So in a conclusion, I would say that you should always be concerned about what is said. See, you as a presenter, what happens? You always think that, okay, what is best, what is lots of information which you want to give. I can speak for a PowerPoint presentation, so 2 hours, 4 hours, but that's time which you are given. So you're always worried about what is, but the is always about what is said. So you control you keep it simple. If your audience can learn 3 things, then you are done. Again, thank you everybody for your kind hearing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for such a power-packed talk. Hello. Thank you, sir, for such a power-packed talk.
Yeah,
I think, yes, I think, sir, after watching this, we would be confident enough to prepare and rather start our own PPT rather than relying on our techno staff.
I hope I can, because actually you need don't need to make techno PowerPoint. You need to keep it very simple. So I probably do see. All the people, computer people, which are going to teach you this PowerPoint have a much marks in their 12th standard when you have passed your 12. All more intelligent than anybody who is teaching to you. So give some time and you can be there.
Yes, sir. And I am sure that if all the points are duly followed, none of our audience would even blink an eye from our presentations.
Thank you.
Sir, there's one question. Where to check the orientation, whether it is 16:9 or 4:3?
You can go into the slide master, and slide master at the start of your talk, you can go to the slide master. In the top row, the options of screen size is given.
Okay, I think the sir has addressed the answer. Now I invite Dr. Jaswant Darwar sir for some quickies.
Good morning, dear friends. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, Doctor. Yes, Dr. Darwar.
Yes. Good morning, dear friends.
Wait for a second. Let him share the slide first. Rushil, slides, please. Slide for Dr. Darwar, please. Yes, Dr. Darwar, you can go ahead now.
Yes. Good morning, dear friends. Welcome to Hitcon Quickies. It's a 2 minutes quick new invention in healthcare technology. See, healthcare technology in day out is changing the healthcare management. This is virtual nurse assistant. This Meet Care Angel. It is a virtual nurse assistant already in action. It is from Miami. It has changed almost everything. If you call this nurse, virtual nurse, you will feel like there is somebody is talking to you. It helps. First of all, it is a first of world's virtual nurse assistant. It helps in healthcare management. It extracts data of clinical and non-clinical data from your backup data, and it identifies the problems of your disease which may progress or not progress, and thus it will inform you that your disease progresses, and you contact your doctor, and it also prevents emergency which sometimes happens. Second thing, it day in day out or every week it calls you for your symptoms, for your vital checks and everything. Third thing, it also reminds you for your appointment to your doctor, and reminds you for all your pills and everything, whether you are taking regularly or not. And it also, suppose if you have any clinical symptoms and if you feed it, then he will tell you by clinical symptoms, based on that you might be having this disease, and he or she will take an appointment of appropriate doctor. Thus, this is purely based on artificial intelligence, and this artificial intelligence will sooner or later will revolutionize and rewrite the healthcare management. Thank you.
Superb, Dr. Darbar. And so, as we already know, artificial intelligence has got a very, very big role to play in the healthcare of the future to come. Over to you, Dr. Krupal.
Thank you, sir. Moving ahead, our next speaker is Dr. Devasis Saini, sir. A brief introduction about our Devasis, sir. Sir has done his MBBS from our very prestigious All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi, followed by MED Family Medicine from the again very prestigious CMC Vellore, and Master of Science Health Informatics from US. Sir is a family physician and serial entrepreneur with special interest in practice management, training, and mentorship. For the last 10 years, he has been building and managing family practice clinics in Gurgaon and Delhi. Sir's enterprise, that is Ross Clinics, provides quality, affordable primary care to urban families and opportunities for growth to family physicians. Over to you, sir, for your talk on how to enhance your online presence. Over to you, sir. Saini, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Krupal, for
Dr. Saini, you can say next every time when you want to give slide.
Yes, Dr. Pragnesh, I will do that. Let's have my slides on.
Yes,
and in the meantime, let me thank Hitcon and Dr. Pragnesh specifically, and thanks, Dr. Krupal, for that introduction. So this topic that I'm going to talk about is very close to my heart, how to enhance your online presence. And we can do that in just 4 weeks. And since Hitcon is very much about making doctors tech savvy and helping and hand-holding, this was a very nice topic that we chose and presented to you today. Next slide, please. So this is what we're going to talk about today. First of all, why online presence? Why do we want to spend so much time and energy on building our online presence? And we'll take 2 perspectives on that. One is a patient decision-making perspective, and one is our own practice perspective. Then we'll discuss what are the basic building blocks of online presence and how to build these online presence building blocks in 4 weeks. Of course, some of these topics are going to be taken later in this conference today by other doctors. So I'm going to briefly touch on these and cover the overall arena of online presence. Next, please. So let's discuss why online presence. It seems like it takes a lot of effort in building our online presence. So why should we go to all that trouble? So I present to you the first perspective and the next slide, which is the patient decision-making process. So let's imagine a person who is who has some symptom, and 60-year-old lady has joint pains, for example, and her son is trying to make a decision as to which doctor they should consult. So in the stage 1, they are looking for references. What are all the list of doctors that are suitable for them to consult? In stage 2, they are trying to gather information about all of these doctors and trying to shortlist or make a decision as to, okay, this is the one doctor that we want to visit. Now in stage 3, they are looking for information, how to get a appointment with this doctor or how to visit that doctor's clinic. And then once that the visit is done, then there are some things to do to make a decision about making a repeat visit to the same doctor. So online presence can help us in all of these stages, and we'll go one by one. Next slide, please. So let's focus on the stage 1 first. When the people are looking for references, of course, in India, still the main source of references is word of mouth. चाची के भतीजे के साधु के बेटे ने जो है वहाँ कराया था तो मैं भी वहीं जा रहा हूँ डॉक्टर उसको दिखाने. So references mostly come from word of mouth of our relatives and friends and colleagues. But people are waking up now to do direct internet searches. They might, for example, search for doctors for joint pain in Rajkot. Or they might do indirect searches. They might look for just joint pain and see some videos and see some educational content, and then get impressed by the doctors who have created those content and then decide to go visit that doctor. So those are the indirect searches. And there are online groups on Facebook and WhatsApp now where people are asking questions, okay, which doctor is best for this? Can you compare this doctor versus this doctor? All of that is happening now in India. Next, please. So having listing on several listing sites such as Google Just Dial, as well as having educational content helps quite a lot in this stage, helping patients find you when they're looking for references. Next stage, please. So stage 2, they are trying to make a decision. So they're trying to find out more information on the doctor's competence. Is the doctor good enough? What is the convenience? How far are they located from our place? Is it convenient as to time? Are they only available in a certain slot, or they're available when it is convenient for the family to visit? How affordable they are. For the middle class and lower classes, the affordability is also a big issue. And this, is a very interesting thing. So people who have already visited some doctor, they are looking for doctors who can give them personal attention. So one of the most common complaints of patients these days is doctor ne time nahi diya. Doctor was, just looked at me, didn't even listen to me, and I wrote a prescription. So they're looking for doctors who can give them personal attention. And this is one of the specific things they're looking for in patient reviews. So next. So getting a lot of reviews on your listings can actually help. Next, please. On your Google business profile or on your websites, if you have reviews from patients and the other information as well about your degrees and your timings and your address of the clinic, that helps them to make a decision whether they feel you're competent enough, whether it's convenient for them to visit, and whether it's affordable. Next, please. So now we come to the third stage, and now they've decided to visit you, but they still need information how to get to you. So they need the address, they need the timings, and they need to know what is your appointment system and the phone number to call and ask all of these questions. Next. So having all of this information on your Google business profile or on your website in very clear manner. Next, please. And maybe some other listings also on the internet makes it very easy for the people to find you and find the information that they need to consult you. But the story doesn't end here, right, when they have reached your clinic. So next stage, please. Now, we also need to ensure that when they need to come for follow-up, maybe 3 months down the line, they still remember and they still like you enough to visit you. And in that, continuous patient engagement is the key term there. We continuously keep our patients engaged, and technology makes it very easy for us. Use of online presence helps us build a brand on our competence and convenience and personal attention, and gradually build a fan following also. So this fan following will then become the internet warriors for you and post your details whenever someone asks for your details or when someone asks for a query. Next, please. And in this last stage, the most interesting things happen where we create patient support groups, we leverage our local networks online, and we create social media pages and profiles to keep our patients engaged. Next, now we come to the practice perspective. So a lot of you might be thinking my practice is already very busy, or some doctors may not even have started their practice. So is this relevant for them? So yes, it helps all practices, whatever stage you may be. Everyone can benefit by enhancing your online presence. Next, please. So if you're in the idea stage, you haven't even started, you can still start building a fan following on social media. So initially, when you start a practice, the initial few patients will come from your network of people that already know you. So your relatives, your colleagues, your friends, your classmates. At least they should start knowing that you're competent and you're ethical and you're invested in patient education and you care about people. And the more you get in their minds, the more they start becoming a bigger fan of yours. And when you're ready to start your practice, you'll be starting with your feet running. rather than waiting for a few months to, for the patients to come. So in the idea stage, you can build up your fan following so that people start and people are so excited about, oh, you have already started your practice, I'm going to come tomorrow. And this is kind of one answer to the question that I give people, young doctors, when they ask me, okay, if I start my practice, will people come? And I say, sure, yeah, let's start right now and start building your online presence so that your success is guaranteed when you start your clinic. Next, please. Now, when the clinic is an early stage, what they're looking for is new patient referrals. And as we discussed in the last section, having information online on portals and Google Business and your own website helps the patients take that decision of coming to you. And they can get accurate information to schedule an appointment with you. Very easily, they can get all that accurate information. So having accurate information and being present on a lot of different places on the internet helps early stage clinics. Next. In the mid stage, you want to continue building relationship with your existing patients, make sure they keep coming back to you, and also do you continue to get new referrals, which again, all of this helps with. And last is the last piece. That's the mature stage where you may not be looking or that hungry for new referrals, but you want to continue to build ever stronger relationship with your loyal patients so that they keep coming to you and never go to anyone else. And for that, the patient engagement activities that we'll discuss will help. Okay, so next slide, please. Now it feels like that we need to do so much of things to build up your online presence. And these are the basic building blocks of online presence that I would like to present to you. Google Business Listing, and we'll have a full session on this coming up in the conference today. Other online listings are also there, and we'll touch upon those. Your own website, your own social media profiles. These are all very key in managing and building your online presence. And patient support groups, local networks we can leverage to build our online presence and keep on developing patient educational content. Next slide, please. Now, this seems like a lot of work. So let's break it down. Let's break it down into weekly things that we can do gradually. Next slide, please. Next slide. Now, we'll go week by week and make sure that by 4 weeks, we have an extensive online presence on the internet in a lot of places where patients can find you very easily. All right, so next slide. Let's see what we need to do in week one. So week one is for preparation. Now, this first step may seem like it's a very, very simple thing, but this may be the most important thing that you can do for your online presence. Beside your name, address, and phone number, this is called NAP. And the key thing is that if Google finds the exact same NAP on multiple websites, it ranks you higher. And by exact same NAP, I mean that we cannot have one single, comma or dot or phone number code here and there. So it should be exactly the same everywhere on your social media profiles, on your website, on your Google Ad Business, exactly the same. So take some time and in the first week, decide your NAP. Write it down 2-3 times and do some iterations. You may have to decide whether you want to go with your own name or with your clinic name, or maybe a combination of that. So one of our my juniors has written Dr. So-and-so, Dr. So-and-so's Trinity Spine Clinic. And that's usable also, but you have to decide that. This is what's going to be the name of my entity everywhere on the internet. Address same ways. You have to decide whether you want to write first floor or FF or any abbreviation of that, whether you want to say opposite Yes Bank or you want to say nearby Bikaner Wala shop. So you have to decide all of that and make sure that every place has the same exact address and the phone number. Even in phone number, do you want to give your mobile or the clinic mobile or the clinic landline? You can give multiple numbers, but those numbers should be exactly the same everywhere. If Google finds the exact same NAP on multiple websites, it ranks you higher. Just remember that. All right, next, please. What else do we need to prepare? Photographs, of course. Text is boring, so we need to have a lot of photographs. Yourself, your clinic from the outside with the board on, and from inside, and your logo. If you have, if you don't, then just invest some time and effort in creating a logo. The clinic should, the photographs, what we're looking for is they should make the patients feel welcoming. And they should make sure that it looks clean and organized. And once patients see that, they get excited. Search for yourself on Google and search both your name and your clinic's name. And you may find that you're already on internet. But make a note of those existing listings and profiles right now so that we can edit them in the later stages. This is just the preparation stage right now. So we want to know what their baseline is, where we are on Google right now. Next, please. And now decide the top 3 websites you want to create profiles on. There's a whole list of social media profiles and websites and pages that, listings that you can build your profile on. But start with top 3 because initially, if you start doing too many things, it becomes very difficult to manage. Once you get the hang of it, then you can do as many as 10 in one go. Or you can hire or you can teach your staff to do some of those, and some of them you are taking care of yourself. But initially, just focus on top 3. And ideally, these top 3 should address different audiences. So maybe one audience is actually your professional colleagues. And we need to have one profile at least which addresses that. So for example, on Facebook, it may be more to do with the general patients. But for your colleagues, you might want to have a profile on LinkedIn. And one more, maybe if you have young people coming, then Instagram or Twitter may be a good choice. But this top 3 websites you may have to decide on. And we have one full session on social media that will also help. Next. Now we are ready. We have done our preparation and we are ready to create profiles. These top 3, I would strongly recommend. Google My Business should be there, and you should own it if it's already there. Either create a new profile or you own your profile that may already be there on Google. And we'll have a full session on this. Facebook page and LinkedIn, these 2 I'll strongly recommend. LinkedIn is no longer just a job-seeking website or just sending and receiving these networking what do we call invitations, but it's also now becoming a social media hub. So it's a social media website for professionals where people are putting a lot of professional content and trying to impress each other. And once you develop standing on that, then you definitely can start getting a lot of referrals from colleagues as well. Next, please. Next, you can think about Just Dial and YouTube. Just Dial also does give some referrals on a monthly basis. And YouTube is very powerful in terms of videos. So a lot of India is moving on videos now. There is free internet or very, very low cost internet available even in the villages. And they're all watching videos on their mobile phones. Plus, there is a lot of, let's say, need for content in local languages. So if you create videos in Hindi, Gujarati, those will be watched very, very hugely. And your following can rise very, very rapidly. And a lot of people actually watch these videos. A lot of specialists have told me that I put on these YouTube videos and people watch them and come to me for, as first-time consultations. Next. Now, if you're still feeling, or if you already have some of these profiles, and you can then think of Practo or Librate and Twitter, Instagram also. Next, please. Now, we have already created some profiles, and we already have some profiles. So next step is to build audience. Now, before we do that, we have to put some existing educational content so that it doesn't look like a blank page and we are just asking people to like that blank page. Just put 3 or 4 some existing videos which are relevant to your audience, some photographs, some pictures of your own, or some achievements of your own. So some content should be there on your Google business profile or on your Facebook page. And then the next step is to start inviting friends. So on your pages, invite your friends, acquaintances, colleagues, and relatives. As I mentioned, these are going to be the first people who start referring patients to you. So we need to connect with them and kind of keep them updated. So they will be very, very excited about, oh, you started your practice, oh, you had a new logo, oh, you bought a new chair. They will be excited about it, and they will like those things, and they become part of your journey to start your practice and build up your practice. And through that, once they become invested in you, then they will be happy to send patients also to you. Plus, whatever listings you have built up, you can ask your existing patients to provide reviews on those. And some of your fan patients will be very happy to provide reviews, positive, glowing reviews. You just have to ask. And maybe you don't even have to ask. You can ask your staff to send links to your fan patients and start building those reviews and star ratings. Interestingly, on Twitter, Instagram, the way to get more followers is to actually follow people. So it's kind of an unwritten, polite thing on Twitter or Instagram that when you are followed by someone, you have to follow them back. So if you follow 100 people, 100 handles or 100 profiles, then at least 70, 80 would follow you back. And that's how you build your following on these profiles. And of course, once you start posting content, then it will build up even more. Now, one thing very important to remember here is that we are interacting with people here. The computer and the internet has a very unfortunate way of dehumanizing things. So we start thinking in terms of number of likes and comments, but these are not likes or comments. These are actually people. So it's when we interact with people, when we have engaging conversations or responding to their emotions, then this audience builds up even faster. Plus, you can invite your existing patients to join an online group. It could be a WhatsApp or Telegram group where tell them that there would not be any spam on this. We will not be answering any specific medical questions, but this is just for sending some educational content on specific things. So maybe you can have one for your diabetic patients, one for your spine patients, one for your leukemia patients, and so on and so forth. There could be one for, let's say, the caregivers also. It's very tough sometimes for caregivers of people with chronic diseases, and they also need a place to discuss things. Next, please. All right, so now we have engaged, we have created our profiles and we have built up our audience. Now we need to create content. And we don't need to create just any content. We want to create engaging content. So content that people feel compelled to like, react, comment, share, retweet, reblog, and do something with it. It should be so compelling. So how do we create that engaging content? Next, please. So videos are the most engaging. So either we create our own videos or we find good videos and share them on our page. We find next is pictures. Pictures are not as engaging, but definitely more engaging than text. Even text we can we can make more engaging with the use of emojis. These smiley faces and different animals and cute little things that brings in some color and emotions into that plain text. As doctors, we like to think in terms of, education is, I tell you 10 different facts about your disease, and I tell you 10 different things to do, and you follow them. But real world is not like that. Real world is about stories, emotions, and color, and all of that. So when we use vibrant colors, when we use human figures, and we try to create content addressing the emotional part of the disease or the health, then that becomes engaging content. So, for example, it's very easy to create a no smoking poster with just saying a cigarette, and you put a red circle on top of it. And contrast with that, let's say a poster says every cigarette you don't smoke is increasing your life by 5 minutes. So that's an emotional appeal. That's a positive thing, and you put a human figure behind it, and you use some colors on that. And that connects much more with the standard no smoking, no quit smoking message that they see everywhere. And of course, the content also has to be authentic on a topical subject. Topical means that it is relevant, it is now, it is trending. And there is a website called Google Trends that you can use to find out which topics are actually trending among patients right now, which topic the patients are searching right now in medical field. And you can create content on those and catch that wave of interest among people. Of course, right now, Corona is the main thing, and anything, some of it has become overloaded also. Some people are, have had too much of it, but still it's a topical subject, and anything that you post on it has a more chance of becoming engaging. Next, please. And of course, once you've created the content, share it in all your groups, pages, and profiles that you've created so far, and then enjoy the engagement. Don't enjoy it too much because it becomes very, very addictive. So we may need to have Gita-like, disengagement with our social media, and we need to have deal with the positive and the negative. Learn from it, and maybe make the next content that we have more engaging. Next, please. All right, so this is a summary. A strong online presence helps our patients in all the 4 stages of decision, and a strong online presence helps practices in all the stages of growth. Even when we are busy, we can build our online presence within 4 weeks. If we focus on preparation in the first week, name, address, phone number, very basic, but very, very important. Get some good photos, get a logo. And then in the week to create and own the profiles. Whenever there are profiles on the internet, you have the option of saying that I am the owner of these profiles, and then they let you edit those profiles and pages. And the week 3, invite, follow more people and interact with them. And in the week 4, start creating and sharing engaging content. So that's my recipe for building online presence. Next slide, please. All right, thanks so much for following. Can we just go back to the last slide of the summary, please, and leave that on?
Thank you, sir. We have some few questions, sir, if you don't mind, sir.
Sure. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. So one question is how to tackle negative reviews on social media.
Right. I think that's one of the drawbacks in doctors' minds, that if we create profiles, there might be negative reviews on it. But what I look at that as an opportunity. If someone has written an online negative review, most likely that was written in anger, and that's acceptable because we can't please everyone. We have to do, as doctors, take decisions that are not pleasing for patients a lot of times, and that's part of the game. What we can do with that negative review is to use that to showcase our professional values. So we can show them that we appreciate, we empathize with your emotional problem, that yes, you must have felt bad at that time when that happened. We can show them that we understand the problem and explain the problem. There was a lot of waiting at that time because we are so busy right now. Things are pretty bad everywhere, and there is a lot of waiting time which we are trying to reduce, but we can't be perfect with it. And do something to correct the problem. Now, all of this is not to address that person. It's actually to address anyone else who is reading that negative review. So once someone sees a negative review and sees a very professional, well-balanced and nicely written reply by the doctor or the clinic to that negative review, that creates a very, very lasting impact.
Thank you, sir, Hope it has addressed the question. So another question is how Twitter works for building audience for doctors.
Okay, so Twitter, I'm also just figuring out. I have had a handle for a long time, but I recently started to post on it. It's a very, very diverse audience. And it's a very, let's say, it's a very, very short attention span. So you write small things, you write your, what you're feeling and what your nice video you found, nice link you found. People interact with it. People also have conversations on it, and people have, let's say, share personal stories also. Doctors do share personal stories. So one of my classmates from medical college had a kidney stone. He's a nephrologist, and he had a kidney stone because he got dehydrated during this corona episode. So he posted a picture of his stones on Twitter, and that got him 20, 30 likes and comments, and everyone is saying, "Oh, nephrologist getting stone," and he said, "Yes, it's very ironic, isn't it?" Just a message of drink water. Everyone, please drink more water. Don't get stones. Was also propagated. So Twitter is kind of is everything for everyone, and if you get the hang of it, it can be a good tool to engage with both patients and the professional audience as well.
Sir, last question. We are getting late, but still I'll need to take it, sir. Sir, your opinion about paid service of Just Dial.
Okay, so Just Dial, it's good to have a free listing, definitely, because that adds one more listing, and people can review that. Just Dial, if people visit your clinic from Just Dial, then it asks them to rate you, and gradually your ratings get built up, and Google gets that rating from Just Dial to show it on their own page also. Now, paid listing may or may not be fruitful for everyone. I've had doctors who have had good response. I have had doctors who say, no, it was worthless. And once we started a relationship with Just Dial, it's very difficult to end that relationship because they keep on, deducting amount from your bank account. What works is if you can find a niche in the whole city, if there is one service that only you are providing, and for that, if you are on Just Dial, then it becomes fruitful. And then, you can very easily convert those leads that you're getting from Just Dial into actual patients. Otherwise, for general practice, it may not be worth it to take a paid listing.
Thanks, sir, for briefly covering the topics which we can use in our day-to-day practice. Still, there are many more questions, but I tell the audience that for more information, we are also welcome to visit sir's website, that is www.rossclinics.com. And also, sir might not be minding if we can mail to sir, that is devashish@rossclinics.com. If I'm not wrong, sir.
Yes, that's correct. And please be happy to help out anyone who has any questions about online presence and anything about practice management.
And definitely in future, we'll have more sessions with him because I think the audience is more interested in this.
Sure, very happy.
Yes, sir. Many more questions are coming, but to limit it, we are just limiting now, sir.
Yes,
thanks a lot, sir.
Can we have the video, please, now?
Yes. So we are also thankful to Hitcon Healthcare for arranging such a webinar, which is presented for the first time. Yes, sir.
Welcome to Hitcon. You must be the change to see in the world by Mahatma Gandhi. Decided to embark upon a journey to empower the medical fraternity with technology and started an event called Hitcon Healthcare Technology Conference for doctors by doctors. Hitcon is a platform where technology meets healthcare. We have created an ecosystem where experts from both fields can interact. We are a group of young, dynamic, tech-savvy family physicians based in Ahmedabad, having wide experience of medical field and management. Let's take a look at Hitcon Healthcare Technology Conference of last few years. Talent features of Hitcon. More than 2,500 doctors has participated in Hitcon till date and upgraded their practice. Parallel hospitals specialty specific workshops. More than 10 corporate hospitals of Gujarat has participated till date. Basic technology workshops. Technology useful for all specialities. Let's take a look at our team. We invite you to become part of this
Yeah. Now I'll invite Dr. C.H. Butch for his presentation. Dr. Butch is a consultant physician at Baroda, and he is got a special interest in cyber security. So I will request Dr. Butch sir to proceed for his presentation. Dr. Butch sir, please. હજી નથી આવતો સાઉન્ડ?
ડોક્ટર પ્રજ્ઞેશભાઈ નો સાઉન્ડ આવે છે.
Okay, let me see.
એમને અનમ્યુટ કર્યું છે એમને નીચે?
એમનું અનમ્યુટ જ લાગે છે, પણ સ્ટીલ some sound issues.
No. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, now.
Yes. So we start. Hello. Yes. Hello, friends. Are you able to hear me? Any one person, please say yes.
Yes. Now you are
Okay.
quite clear.
Okay.
Yes, Butch sir, please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you very much, friends, for giving me this opportunity to talk at Rajkot from Ahmedabad while I am in Baroda. I will be talking today about cyber security tips, about cybercrime via the computers and also via the cell phone. I am Cyber Secure Butch. And why do we need to talk about it? Because cybersecurity spends by 2022 are expected to be about $137 billion. Expenses are going to rise is felt by 68% businesses. And you will be surprised, doctors, that data breach has cost 4.1 billion in the 6 months of 2019. Out of this, 71% were financial, and many of us have had the victim of these financial frauds. 52% of them were done by hacking, 28% were by malware, and 32% were either phishing attacks or social engineering attacks. So categories of cybercrime, what are they? They are two. Either the computer is used for creating the attack as a weapon, or the computer is the target from where people hack, take your personal information and create a chaos. So various kinds of categories are there, but you need to understand in these 300 seconds that it can be against persons, means you and me. It can be against the property, that is our own data and organization data, and against a government like a cyber war or a cyber terrorism. So we need to be careful about it, and we already know some of them, most of them. So the chances are that hacking, malware, phishing, rootkits, spam, spyware, trojans, viruses, we have seen all of them from time to time. These cyber crimes are standard. There are variants. Hacking, everybody knows. Phishing, everybody knows. Squatting is known to most. Phishing is making you believe that it is from the original person, but actually it is not. You are being fished. તમને ભરાવવામાં આવી રહ્યા છે અને ફસાવવામાં આવી રહ્યા છે. If you do the very same thing with a voice, as you see in the banking frauds, when you get a call and ask for a credit card information, the phishing with voice is wishing. So you know that. Now only talking about cybersecurity using a computer or a laptop or a desktop is not the issue. Cell phone is more than laptop. Everybody in the current times have cell phone. Therefore, self security is very important. It can be based on the apps that you have, and therefore it can be a malware, spyware, privacy problems, vulnerability, etc. But it can also be web based, because through the cell you go to the web. So there can be again same things which we talked about, and drive by downloads where you are trying to visit a website and everything else is getting into the web, and through that, through your Wi-Fi network into your cell phone, and you are cheated. So malware and other actions can be performed. Network is through either Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, right? So both these types of networks can host different classes of threats. So network exploits, suppose your Wi-Fi router is not secure, then when the data goes from the cell phone to router, the data is stolen and it is used. Same way it is used when you put your car on or off through a Wi-Fi, that means a Bluetooth key. So always in the public places, try to lock your car with the key. Wi-Fi sniffing intercepts data as it is traveling through the air between the device and the Wi-Fi access point. Physical threats are very important because computers are not easy to steal, but mobile devices are. They are small, can be put in a pocket, it is valuable, they cost as much as a laptop. Physical security, therefore, is very important. Lost or stolen devices, the most prevalent, valuable, not only hardware itself, but it can be resold on the black market, and it has, whether computer has or not, but the mobile has your sensitive personal, financial and bank details, and maybe even organization and password details. Therefore, to remain safe from cybercrime, what is important is ABCD. ABCD is antivirus should be latest, current, updated. Browser exploits should be avoided. Check the security settings. Delete dubious links. Disable remote access. Do it only for the 10 or 15 minutes that you need to, or for somebody to do your job, and educate yourself. Doctor friends, you know that we are educated, but there are children in Jamtara where there are 3 schools which teach how to hack and how to earn 50,000 plus every day in some cases, and there have been too many, and there is a serial on it. So have a good firewall and have general knowledge about cybercrime and cyber threats. Cybercrime steps are, everything is illegal. So there is an illegal access to your system, interception, there is interference, there is system data or data interference, there is a device damage, vandalism, and there are frauds. And to avoid that, the 5 or 6 tips that you need to know are the cyber safety tips, and they are the precaution, prevention, protection, preservation, perseverance, and password protection. And a whole lecture can be there on any one of them. So in these 300 seconds, ગાગરમાં સાગર ભરવાનું જે ઇન્વિટેશન નાગર તરફથી આવ્યું હતું એ બદલ હું આપ સૌનો આભારી છું. ઓલ ધ બેસ્ટ ટુ ધ HitCon Rajkot, and thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you, Buddh sir, for such an informative talk. Now, moving ahead, our next talk is by our own Mr. Madhav Jasapara. For IMA Rajkot family, Madhav Bhai needs no introduction. But to complete the formalities, I would start with Madhav Bhai as a digital entrepreneur having more than 12 years experience in online and digital marketing. He is the founder of Gujarati TV, Bharat City Guide, Organic Mall, and Residential Cricket School. His achievements include Youth World Icon Award, President Award, Young Entrepreneur Award by Rajkot Municipal Corporation, Sargam Ratna Award, and many more. So over to Madhav Bhai for his talk on exponential growth with Google My Business.
Thank you very much. I'm audible for all of you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks very much to HitCon and Indian Medical Association Rajkot. I'm Madhav, presenting today exponential growth in our day-to-day businesses. Just loading my file, one sec. Yeah. Yes. So our main motto in current scenario, it's growth. Current pandemic time, we are facing so many problems. During this time, we can, if we shift something and we get the good results, we need to change it. Yeah. So till today, Google is the undisputed king as per online search market with the 92.18%. If you check all the social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever, they all are in one side and Google itself one side. Why? Because 3.5 billion searches per day Google processes. And most important searches like 5 billion searches for restaurant, 3 billion searches for hotel, 1 billion searches for cloth marketing. And happy for us is 750 million searches for doctors and hospitals, 600 million searches for beauty salon, and 5 million searches for coffee shop. So Google is the ultimate king, and our presence in Google is very much important. Few interesting facts about Google, like 84% of US or the general public use Google 3 times in a day or more than that. And people are once visited the Google, they always prefer to perform and see the result and execute the task on the first page only. People not bother to go to the 3rd page or 4th page or 2nd page. They always use first page. Number of mobile user, like 63%. This is an US figure. It's 63% US people are searching on Google. It's an organic traffic. And same way in India, 46% of the product search is being on Google. So whatever happening, whatever the search is, whatever the niche is, everyone is searching on Google first. So whether in the rural area or a small town or a big city, everyone, every business, everyone need a business or a customer. I am agreed, or I think everyone is agreed with it. So what we can do, last night I just type hospital on Google search. I will see the 3-page review or the 3-page result on the front page of Google. First, it shows the government of India COVID information. Then the 3-pack box, it's where the 3 hospital is listing. Then the information about news and the organic listing, and in bottom there are related searches. What I'm trying to showing here, it's the Google is always listing 3 map information. Like same way, if I see in the desktop as well as the mobile, in both the platform, Google first shows 3 pack listing of map. So today we are talking about the Google My Business, and you are listing yourself with the Google My Business, and how you can be more, get more and more customer organically without paying anything. So rank on Google Map Pack 3. So in this screen, you can see the first always 3 listing, local 3 pack. So local means what? Basically, we are situated in a certain area around certain boundary. It's the city. It shows the local area-wise listing, then the general organic listing. Yeah. So once you set up the Google My Business, you are eligible to listing yourself in 2 platforms like Google My Business as well as on Google Maps. So ek tirthi be shikar karwa jevi વાત છે, and we are very much happy to help you in any level of time you need any help. Next is, currently based on our research, around 70% of local businesses are unclaimed. 70%. Can you imagine if you check your even listing, maybe your listing is not listed on Google. So after 2020, Google may remove unlisted listing from Google. So, and if you are not registered, it's a good time to be registered. So what is it like? How you can justify the claim and unclaimed businesses? How we can go and register ourselves on Google? It's like if you check the claim businesses, you can see the results in the bottom. It shows the suggest edit left hand side, and the right hand side it shows own your business. So once it says suggest edit means claimed, and own the businesses means unclaimed. So first of all, you check yourself on Google, and you will see the if your listing is not there or it's available for claim. We can see the process of it. So Google is now focusing. This is again the same thing. The Mr. Prime Minister said, like vocal for local. Google is doing the same, where Google is supporting local business more and more across the globe. So if we are based in Rajkot specific area, like and say for example Kalawad Road, so Google is supporting at the Kalawad Road area only. So the vocal for local, it's based for Google also, and it's supporting in a great way. What you can get it in Google? You can do digital listing on both the platform like Google and Google Map. You can upload your product or services. You can design your mini website. Photos and videos you can upload. Day-to-day posting, appointment booking. For food industry, not with us, but in food, if someone in food industry, they will get they get chance to upload their menus also. And you can manage all your reviews. Plus, Google offers the inside information about how you search, how your map works, how many people call you on your hospital or your reception, how many visitors visit your website, how many visitors visiting from which location they are coming from. So all this type of inside information you are getting. So we can start the basic introduction and how to list yourself on Google My Business. It's a very simple 4-step formula. Already Sir said, the Senator said all the things in previous session. First of all, log into your Google account and go to your google.com/business. So you will get the Google My Business setup. Once you put your hospital name or the doctor name or the basic name which you want to register on Google, you just type in it, and then you put all the information about your hospital and all this thing. After completing all the information, Google will show you the options to get authorization. Like whatever you upload is, for Google, it's not sure that you are the genuine person or not. So they will send you the postcard, or they can check the business is verify yourself. It's through postcard, through phone, through email, or through verification or the bulk verification. But the postcard is the best option. So you can get postcard from Google Office USA in around 12 days with the code. So verification code. So your registration is verified by your own self. So no one can play around it, and you can get the exact result out of it. Next, after getting authorization or the verify, you can always optimize your Google listing. Texts are plenty, so I can just say down the thing. You can put all the information about you or your hospital, your addresses, your time, your mobile number, when it started, who are the nearby locations, everything you can put it here. Google My Business last editing session is as the screen. You can see you get all the information on the one simple menu. One dashboard is giving you all the information. Once you click on info, you can edit the information. You can once click on photo, you can update the photographs. If you want to create a website, you just click on it, and Google create the free website behalf of you, and all the information. Google give the options to upload a photograph where people are judging you by seeing the photos. Like 35% of the people click on the website, and 42% request to driving direction when the Google by seeing your photographs and the information. Here, the basic tip, photograph should be 720 pixel by 720 pixel. If you need any query, I will help you out in this, or we can have a update on it. Which type of photograph you can upload? Like you can upload cover photograph, means cover instead of the building view or the hospital view. Profile photo, like if you want to promoting yourself as a doctor, then you upload your profile photo. Your interior and exterior photographs, how your building look, what are the facility you are offering, what are the things you are going to give them to show them, and employees at work, product photography, common area. This is the key element. Common area, if you are showing, so people will see your infrastructure, see your services. So once you're showing all this thing, like your rooms and the team and etc., you will get all the benefits. So this is just in a basic setup. You don't require any high skill. And same with the video. You can upload your infrastructure video, your building video, or the street video, or the patient video. All video is certain requirement is there. It's like a 30-second or shorter videos, 100 MB or smaller, and 720p resolution required. That can be easily done with the mobile. One of the best part, everyone and every doctor love to use it, is the manage the review. Here you can review, managing the review with the good or bad. You can always answer with the good thing. People will see the reviews and judging them with their perspective. So every review must be replied in a positive way, in a proper manner. with the local language, or it's in Hindi, it's good. Why? Because we don't know like which type of visitor are visiting or searching people. So local language reply, it's very much helpful nowadays because everything is now going local in online platform. Google My Business, once you set up all the thing, it will support Google app. It's a Google My Business app. It's available on both the platforms. You can download from iOS or Android. 3 things you cannot do with the app. It's you cannot delete the business listing. You cannot change its settings and give ownership to other users. Apart from all the features, you can use it through application also. You don't require PC for that. Next, it's time to change, become a hero, and don't take stress. Don't spend money after the SEO and all. It's very simple, very easy, and very good for each and every doctor or the team member to do and design the self and get the more customers. Last not least, this is my book, Grow Your Business with Google My Business. It's a gift from me to all the doctors who spare time to see my this thing, and it's a very good book. It's a step-by-step guide where you can get all the answers. It's available on Kindle also at $4.99 rate, but it's free to all the doctors. And thank you very much again for giving me chance to give my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Madhav bhai. We have one question from audience.
Yes, sir.
There are many agencies these days who charge for adding reviews on your profile. Does that really work?
Never take any paid reviews, because paid reviews today Google will not focusing, but after for sure 1 month or 1 year they will focusing on it. And once your profile found it's in a paid reviews or the fake reviews or the malpracticing, Google will straight away shut down your profile, and whatever the efforts you put on it, it will scrap in a minute. So it's not suggested.
Thank you, Madhav bhai. Hope it has answered to the best way. And we are also thankful to you for such an informative talk. And we are also thankful for your service in IMA Rajkot with wholehearted dedication.
Thank you very much, sir.
Now
Krupal.
Now I request Dr. Maulik, sir.
Thank you, Krupal. Thank you, Madhav, for the kind gesture of providing the book free to all the viewers. Thank you.
Thank you, Zia. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Maulik, sir, to have a video on Swasthya Setu.
What is Swasthya Setu? It is right information from right doctors. Our aim is to establish a setu between society and doctors, so that the right, authentic, and trustworthy information reaches society regarding various diseases, health issues, health empowerment tools, etc. Who could be a part of Swasthya Setu? Everyone in society. Benefits of connecting as an individual. Access health videos. Personalized organized health records. Easy sharing as per need. Connect with your doctor. Get health tips. Book appointments. And more. What doctors can do. Organize your practice. Monitor patients remotely. Empower patients with education. And more.
Thank you, sir. I am sure IMA Rajkot is enjoying this offbeat academic peacefully.
Yes, very, very good comments. Keep flowing on live.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. A gentle reminder for filling the feedback form also. Yes. Moving ahead, our next eminent speaker is Dr. Samir Shah, sir. Sir is a renowned pediatrician at Samir Hospital and Narhari Hospital, Vadodara. Sir is keenly interested in computer and medical informatics, academic and research work, and in the field of prevention of child abuse and neglect. Sir has a special interest in adolescent medicine and vaccinology. Sir is holding many key posts in Indian Academy of Pediatrics like Secretary Computer and Medical Informatics, Executive Board Member in Central IAP, Convener in the Website Committee of Central IAP, Chief Editor of ICA NCL IAP in 2020, Executive Board Member in Academy of Pediatrics Gujarat 2019, Past President of Academy of Pediatrics Baroda, also in sports work as a Sports Secretary IMA Baroda in 2019-20. So over to Samir sir for the topic gadgets that will change your practice. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Krupal bhai, for your nice explanation about the me. अगर जो तमे ना कीधुं तो हूँ तैयार हूँ तो मारा माटे कहेवा माटे. So before starting my presentation about the gadgets, should disclaimer for my topic. It's a thing that is I am not a technology expert. This presentation is a combination of my experience and research. This is only and only for sharing the knowledge. No commercial aspect, not supporting any particular brand, and I will be happy if more addition in the points from the expert if I forgot. So let's start learning together. So what is today I will going to talk. This is the era of the digital technology. On internet, we already shifted from the digital platform of 1.0 to 2.0. 4G network is now reality, and very shortly it will turn to 5G. Medical profession is also advancing digital technology. It's vital that doctors stay up to date on new trends. Many of the latest gadgets not only provide great value, but are also fun. And due to Corona pandemic, every one of us is now aware of the power of telemedicine and importance of digital technology. What will I not discuss today? As digital advances are so fast that we update ourselves with effort. There will be many more changes and updates knock the door. Advance in the medical practice itself and a vast subject, so it is impractical to discuss within a short period of 20 to 25 minutes time. In my presentation, I am not going to discuss branch-specific hi-fi equipment like advances in radiology, laparoscopy, ophthalmic and orthopedic instrument, robotic medicine, etc., which are not must to run a general hospital or clinic. So what I will discuss, I am going to discuss about the gadgets, instrument which will really help us in our day-to-day practice, which will be add-on in our clinical knowledge and will have add-on value and facility provided by our hospital or clinic. Of course, whether they fit to our pocket also, both in size and price, will always be questionable. So what the gadget that will change our routine practice? We can divide them into the administrative gadgets to improve our services, advanced medical gadgets used in hospital, wearing devices for the patients monitoring remotely. Administrative gadgets, let's take first. This is the first gadget what I personally feel is a must for nowadays. And even if you're not buying this gadget, but you just keep this thing, you are under CC surveillance. This photograph is enough to improve your security purpose also and services purpose also. So a CCTV camera is really a closed circuit television camera that will help our practices nowadays, and it is a work to protect our hospital employee and patients from the security breaches and provide valuable visual evidence that can be used to increase productivity and prevent dishonest claim, and also help as a legal evidence also. In hospital and health care facilities, video surveillance is an effective tool, not only to increase the security, but also the controlling the cost. I am not going to detail in how which type of the cameras is available. It will be also video or digital still in the form of the color vision or black and white vision, with audio recording also or without audio recording also. But I will definitely discuss what are the benefits you will get if you keep this CCTV camera. Even you have it improves the workers' productivity, as they are under the supervision of ours. They will definitely improve their work performance. This is definitely preventing dishonest claim that sometimes made by our patients themselves, by as they will say something is injured them, but we can directly show them about the video, and they are definitely threatened when we are seeing it, just putting this poster on every places. So it will help a lot. Resolve employee dispute, as sometimes few employee may quarrel inside either or side, and that may be definitely if they be having a record, we can show them what the real thing has happened and we can conclude them. Same thing, continuous real-time monitor is really helpful, as we not every time remaining in our clinic or our hospital, but we can remotely maintain this video at any time, and visual images is always helpful for any investigations if happen as a medical legal things. The administrative gadgets also, I second gadget, what important thing is a biometric attendance machine. I know now Google gives everything, including the biometric attendance machine, but the individualized choice will be always there. The main reason behind initiating this system is to eliminate the time theft and increase the security and accuracy, and that will definitely help to our improve the time constraint from the our own staff, and that will be definitely eliminate the body time punching that will be previously remaining present when having a card punching, because any can take the card with them to give the card to other, and other person can punch this thing, but nobody can punch and give their finger for punching or face for punching if they are not remain present practically. There will be no repetitive consumable cost, as we have not required a repetitive punching card, and that will be the real-time direct costing, so there will be no cost on that consumable thing. Then trust for the data and accurate payroll record is very, very important thing, as it will be the totally automatically managed. It will give the even seconds of the time accuracy and security, and that's why it will be also improve the employees' accountability to their remain punctuality on time, and they can go as after their time completes, and that's why they increase the productivity of our staff also. One more important administrative gadget that I will keep in my list, that is the POS machine, point of sale machine. Again, with mobile, we having now many apps are available that will be replacing this type of the POS machine, but security will be always better with this POS machine. And now handheld Mozambique machine is also available for this use. How it helps? So it will be lead to this less cash handling, as nowadays in the COVID, we will definitely not like to take the money in cash. That will be really help with this type of the POS machine. Again, very fast service, as many times many people does not have carry the cash that requires at the time of the service that they want, other than the consulting, and some when they having this type of the machine available with us, they can easily take. And I am sure many times as a pediatrician we will get this advantage, because patient coming for the regular follow-up, we advise for the vaccination, and they will definitely like for going for vaccination, but they are having a difficulty to give the money, and that time this type of the machine help a lot. Again, simplifying the accounting and increase efficiencies, again a very important thing. There is no need to keep a cash book record or anything. That will be totally come as a proper methodological manner, and we can take at any time as we require, and that will improve the real accuracy. There will be no man-made problem occurs in this thing, and it is very easy to use. Extended payment capability of the what I had already discussed, and detailed receipt can be generated through it. So it will be easier for the patients also to take the receipt as when they require for the reimbursement. Now, this is the need of the era, and that is the smartphone. And if I will not include in the administrative guideline, it will be the great mistake from my end. The smartphone is really making us as a smart doctor, and we should not at all neglect how smartphone will be helpful. So it will be always the smart choice, and because that will be never we will satisfy if we purchase the mobile. And once we purchase a best mobile, what we think, and within a few days, new good mobile came in the market. So we have to fix the budget, we have to define the use, and frequency of changing the device also we have to describe. As a doctor, what will be our requirement? It includes the good speed that from the RAM and processor, good storage having from the ROM and expandable memory, good long battery life, screen size and better resolution in any light, good camera, front and camera and rear camera resolution, dual SIM, as we require the private not want to give the business SIM for our SIM for our business purpose, and good speaker and audio accessibility. Most of the companies show this type of detail in their advertisement, and average cost is usually ranging from the 15,000 to 30,000. And this is one of the list what I just prepared from that thing. But we know we are now not using so much interestingly the China, so we having a very few options that will really require for our day-to-day usage for as a doctor. But you always should check not only that is available online, but you also check that thing what is the SAR level, means radiation that will be produced from our mobile, safety of your data security, remote access and deactivation if required, able to connect easily in our other devices. That is very important when we are using the other devices for our day-to-day practice. Availability of the accessory at reasonable price, strength of device when it falls down, water and scratch proof device should be there, after sales services, and resale value is important tools that we have to checking when we are purchasing any mobile. And if we miss computer, printer and scanner in our office nowadays, it will be not practical thing. You have to keep this thing which handy and you could use in day-to-day practice, as the many medical legal things and many claim purpose also you require a systemic recording of your data, and that will be easily managed with the practice management software which will be available, and we have to keep all the data in the electronic record management system. It will be really helpful us to digitalize our prescription, as we all know how our handwriting works. Appointment scheduling is always helpful. Queue management in OPD is also really well managed with this type of the practice management software. Maintaining inventory and reminder for the vaccination, accounting software and teleconsultation software is very well used nowadays because of our lockdown. If we want to go in detail, there is I will definitely say you can use either web-based platform, and these are the list of the software that you can use at any of your choice. I am not promoting anyone because all having their own advantage and disadvantage. And if we want to discuss this, it is a whole topic in itself. We also having a digitalized health record with pen and paper. This is easiest thing what at present available with our tablets and simple digital pen that is available, and you just write as writing your prescription, and it will get totally gone into the digitalized format, and that will help us to improve our quality of prescription. There are also EMR software with a speech recognition. Here there is no need to write anything. You have to just speak as per your protocol base, and you can definitely generate your prescription. I hope my till now presentation not yawning you, and I definitely it give the more interest to you. So let's go with the medical gadgets. What the helpful in our day-to-day practice, and most important is definitely thermometer. When we require that thermometer, the history is so long. We were starting with the mercury thermometer, then the digital thermometer, then the ear auditory thermometer, and nowadays this must for the our practice, that is the thermometer with the infrared thermometer, which will measure the temperature from the distance to have the safe distancing. And it is now each and every one of the world is knowing that it is a must for the measurement of temperature. When we are measuring the temperature as a thermometer, we should also not neglect this type of the sensor thermometer, which is really helpful for our refrigerator recording when we are keeping the medicine or vaccine. That will be the available with a specific temperature we have to keep as around, and that will help from outside. We can regularly check that is the temperature is really maintained. And this is a instrument, and we can say it's a privilege that as every doctor is wearing, and that is the stethoscope. It having a starting with this type of this small instrument to the our regular instrument, and now it will be considered as a digital stethoscope that allows us a lot to transfer our hearing anywhere. It will be helpful to the recording, and it will be also helpful for ourselves when many muffled sounds are there that is not practically possible to us. But definitely it will be the really costlier affair. But nowadays our Indian maker also made this thing is a lesser expensive, in costing of around 20,000. One more medical gadget that really we require, and that is the glucometer. And this glucometer will be the must for the each and every clinic nowadays, because it helps us to keep a person alive just only with a prick, and we can monitor his glucose level, and we can treat either hypoglycemia or hyperglycemia. And as I described, the smartphone is smarter and smarter, and these devices are also now coming in. At present, it's definitely not available in India, but this type of the diary blood glucose monitoring system, just you attach with your mobile, and you can keep, your mobile will be work as a glucometer. And this is the thing which will be really helpful in daily practice for any physician or clinician. That is the weighing scale. Previously, it was definitely just available as a dial scaling with a digitalization, but then we having a proper equilibrium digital scale was there, and now this type of the sophisticated digital scale is available. Here we can measure the weight of from the new work to the up to the any kg weight what we want. Nowadays, there one more advanced that is also available, but it may not be so much useful for our day-to-day testing. That is the all the measurement will be the on that also include the body mass, fat mass. Each and every requirement measurement of our body will be with measure we can and we can keep ourselves fit and fine. Pulse oximeter is really now a heart of our hospital health. This is the one of the best indicator what we are seeing nowadays to consider whether patient having a happy hypoxia or not. And if we don't keep this with in our clinic, we can miss many problematic patients nowadays. And this should we have to keep any kind of thing, either of the fingertip or a handheld pulse oximeter or a tabletop monitor. But definitely the higher the cost, better the accuracy, and you have to assess what is the best gadget that you want to use as per your budget. But I will definitely prefer the only pulse oximeter rather than the I will definitely prefer NIBP over the pulse oximeter if you are having your own hospital, because it not only measures the pulse and SpO2, but it also measures the heart rate, ECG, and other things will be available with only one gadget. And it really, I will say, it's a useful investment for our hospital if we purchase a good quality multi-para monitor. Just emoji, I just skip this thing, is not for the patient's fearing. It's a fear of the doctor. When any chubby or very fatty people come and we have to insert the vein flow. And active vein finder is a very good solution for this, and very good instrument that will be the help us a lot to find a very difficult vein, either for the insertion of the vein flow or taking the sample for the blood. And if we purchase this, it's not so costly also. And I think we have to keep it with our hospital. And it is very important. It's a very small device and battery operated device. So we can take it at any time, anywhere, in any ICU round also. If required, we can use it and utilize its specification. Just complete for the completion of the list, I had also put the portable USG machine and ECG. It may not be required for the our hospital at all time, but if you having this thing, it will be really luxury for you to diagnosing many things in emergency. Practically, it's not available at presently so easily in India. But you can purchase from online also this type of the portable USG and ECG machine. But I will say if USG within our day-to-day clinical practice in OPD also, you can diagnose many things at just simply with mastering in USG by yourself. So after all things, few wearing devices, or that will be the, if you offer to the our patient, that will be really helpful for them, and that will also helpful for us to monitoring their patient, our patient remotely on our device as and when some problem is occur, and they are the also helpful to the patient to give an alarm to the us or the nearby relative when they are really in trouble. And that would be very easily operated and very long battery life also. So it will be really helpful in the emergency. Same thing, fitness watch is really helpful for our patients also and for us also to keep us what really we are doing to keeping ourselves fit and fine. Same thing nowadays, sweat meter are also available to monitor the blood glucose just from the our surface throughout the sweat, and that sweat meter will really help to diagnose without any pricking to the monitor the blood glucose level. Oximeter already we had discussed. One important device at presently not so easily available in India, that is the AdderTech wireless pill bottle. It will be really helpful for our old age people where they are sometimes miss that pill timing, and that will directly indicate if they miss any time taking the medicine, directly indicated to the doctor or nurse who having access to this, and they will phone them and they can advise them to take without any hurdle. So thanks for hearing my short presentation. Many more things I can say on this thing, but it's really just a beginning. We should keep and start using this type of devices. Really help a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
I personally thank the Hitcon people, mainly our Hitcon Dr. Pragnesh Bhai, and with his team, and definitely IMA Rajkot allowing me to give my short presentation. And definitely I miss the hospitality of the Saurashtra hospitality of the Rajkot because I am giving online presentation. Thank you.
That's true. We all are missing that.
Samir bhai.
Thank you.
So one question is there from audience.
Yeah.
Yes, Krupal.
Yes, sir. So any
Yes,
software
you please proceed first.
Hello.
Yes, Samir bhai. Just one question. Not one, but one or two or three. Can you briefly elaborate on the sonic-based prescriptions or the digital prescriptions created with a digital pen and paper?
Basically, there is a very easily available thing. We require only tablet with digital pen, and that will be the what usually think of our what I already told. Our handwriting is really excellent as a doctor, and it will be when it will turn totally digitally, it will help and improve. It's a simply software is available with tablet. You just keep it with synchronized with your printer, and like any software, what we are using the as a online software or the hybrid software, that will be give the prescription same way with on our prescription, just with a printer and our digital pen.
So which will be the best software to use if you can suggest?
I personally feel there is nothing like best. You just use, explore, and then use yourself. Basically, I just explored many things as basically the computer and medical informatics chapter secretary, and we are now recommending this of many software, and I use practically many software personally also. And what I found, many person has their own requirement, and each person has their different requirement. Their choice will be always differ. So I will recommend it. That will not really helpful for you also. But I can give the list. Definitely, I already given that list. You can choose out, or you can Google it. You can get the details definitely. But I will definitely say everyone give the 1 month demo before you can purchase. And in that 1 month demo, you will definitely get the what is the real advantage, really fruitful. But I personally feel you should go for now digitalization. There is no option for that. Only handwriting precision will not helpful in now coming days of the medical legal purpose.
So in that case, we will have to compulsorily use the Bluetooth printer, or the simple printer will also do?
No. It's a simple your prescription only.
Okay.
You can utilize the printer, your prescription only. You are just insert. There is no specific extra cost will be there for the printing.
Okay. And
this is just only what simply when now you talking on the Google, and Google is typing the yourself, right? Same thing is happening with that. Nothing other than that.
Okay. And so, what's your take on the digital stethoscope?
Digital stethoscope, I personally feel as a pediatrician, really, I feel it should be really helpful. But again, it should be having a very handsome cost. What I told that is one cost will be around 55,000 if we take ideal thing. But now Indian MEDAP is also available. That is costing around 18,000 to 20,000. So you can use that thing, and this is a really great investment. And I think it's a pride and proud for our as a doctor having a good stethoscope. But nothing harm to purchase that.
So our last question, sir. You said about the portable USG, portable USG as well as portable ECG machine. So I have got this machine. If you can see from here, it's available online. So what's your take? Have you used this? And I'm not sure whether it is accurate or so, and whether it shows the proper results or not.
First important thing, this USG machine is that
they claim that it's for the SpO2 and the pulse oximetry plus the ECG machine portable. They have the this.
I personally feel this is Jai bhai. This USG machine is really not for the accurate diagnosis. This is for the emergency diagnosis. And many emergency diagnosis thing that is practically not possible to clinically be having a suspicion. If just you put at a probe and on OPD base, you just see that thing. something like appendicitis or something, you can definitely get. But this is definitely required the clinic. As for our clinical expertise, USG expertise is definitely needed. But this is definitely not for the accuracy. It is for the emergency purpose.
Okay. And there's one more issue with that. Is there any PCP entity issue with the portable USG?
I think at presently it is there, and definitely it's not so practically used usually.
Okay. Yes, Krupal, please.
Yes, thank you, sir. Sir, one question was rather it has been answered, but just as a good software as far as data security is concerned, in your opinion?
I again say data security now everyone is given, but as per this computer and medical informatics chapter, we are at presently recommended the Axon software. This is a local Gujarat-based software only, and there is a good team also, good backup also. They are giving me good services also, so far as we think, and that's why you can go for that thing. At presently, I can recommend it as per the computer and medical informatics chapter of the IAP and central IAP also.
Thanks a lot, sir, for your wonderful talk. And after learning from your talk, we would definitely be adding more gadgets in our practice as well as personal life.
I think Kashyap will definitely give some input about my presentation.
Yes, Pragnesh, sir.
No, yes, let Kashyap comment first.
Presentation was wonderful. In fact, there are many things which are actually very, handy, but still we are probably not looking at it at the from the view where you are seeing. So your content was very good, and there are many things to learn from your presentation, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Kashyap. We are getting a lot of queries about how to get that book. That is the gift for this IMA Hitcon Rajkot Hitcon delegates. So I request all of you that the feedback form is being widely circulated in the live comments on the Facebook as well as on the YouTube. Kindly fill up that feedback form and we'll send that book across to you via email. Krupal, you may please continue.
Thank you, sir. So moving ahead for our next quickie. Our next quickie is by Dr. Chinmay Shah, sir. Sir needs no introduction as far as who is working with any teaching institute in Gujarat. Sir is working as an associate professor at Government Medical College, Bhavnagar. And rather, I would say that it would be tough to find any event in which GMC sir is not involved. So over to Chinmay sir for starting the quickies on how to do Facebook Live. Over to Chinmay sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, okay. So what I request is allow me to share the screen. So I will directly go to the demo rather than going through the step. Sir, I request to allow me to share my screen. So I will give the live demo. Okay, sir. Okay, can you see my screen now? Okay, now? Okay, I think now you will be able to see. Okay, just a second. Okay, now I think yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this is my mobile and how to do Facebook Live instantly using a mobile. You can see my screen of Facebook, and here there is a button live. So I'm clicking. You can see just on the left upper side live button. So I'm clicking on the live button, and now you can see there are multiple pop-up things available here. So before we directly press on the start live video button, here are some settings which you would like to do. Right now my camera is on the opposite side. Okay, and if I will click on the upper side, it will turn that camera on my side. So now whatever I'm speaking, you can see me also. Now if you want to do live video with your friend, below is option. You can see in my screen on the downside, below start live video. I can bring my any of the friend along with me, and I am telling, let me invite Krupal. So you can just search here, and here is Krupal with me. I can invite him, so he also will be there with me in this Facebook live. Then if you want to come do a public live, then directly press on the start live video. Else you can go on left upper side where there are settings for live Facebook. Here is the public, here is the friend, here is the friend accept. Okay, and if you are having any page, for example, I am having IMA Bhavnagar, then human physiology, then positive thoughts. So if you want to share on a specific page, you can just click that page, and then you will be Facebook live. And lastly, just you can add description that this is a excellent opportunity provided by Hitcon. So you can write all these things. Thank you very much to Dr. Pragna, Swajra Sanjan and team. And finally, you can just press on the start live video. You are live now. Okay. So now you can see here, I am Facebook live, and I can get comment also. Comment will appear here. Okay. So you start your presentation, and once it's over, you can just click on the finish button, and your video, live Facebook live video will end, and it will be there on your Facebook page. And now also you can share. So this is all from my side in 2 minutes. Thank you very much, Hitcon. Thank you, Krupal.
Sir, a question. Please be there, sir.
Okay.
Sir, can we save live video on Facebook Live?
Yes, it is already saved. And right now you can see my screen. There are 3 options on the downside. I can download this video also. So there is a download button, save button is there. Can you see that?
Yes, it's there, sir.
On the left side down.
Yes, sir, it's there, sir. Save, yes.
Okay. So you can save it, you can share it, and you can delete it also.
Thank you, sir. Hope it has answered fully. And thanks a lot, Dr. Chinmay, sir. And personally speaking, it was a privilege for me to be part of your student at GMC Bhavnagar and Jamnagar.
Thank you, Krupal.
Moving towards the end of the session, we have with us Dr. Urman Dhruv, sir. Sir is a consultant physician and diabetologist, director at Department of Medicine at Mithakali wing of HCG. Personally, sir is a true academician and a music lover. And as far as Ahmedabad is concerned, sir is a frontline corona warrior. Heads up to you, sir. And over to you, sir. Dhruv, sir, now.
Okay. Good afternoon. Hope I am audible.
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
And you can see my presentation.
So we are not yet getting. Yes, sir. Got it.
Okay. Fine. So what I'm going to talk in next 20 minutes is social media for doctors. Most of you know it very well, especially within last 3 months. So the disclaimer is I'm not earning a single coin out of social media. So don't blame me that I am professionalizing the social media. As the topic of today is social media, I'm not going to talk about any apps. These are all different social medias. Maybe there will be many more which I might not have included here. So let's start this way. How many of you are not on any WhatsApp group? And I know there would not be a single hand that would be raised. Whether it is Amitabh Bachchan or whether it is Dr. Pragnesh Vachrajani. They all would be there on some sort of social media. How many delegates received the message about Hitcon 2020 on social media? And answer would be yes from everybody, which itself says that we need to thank social media because it is one of the most important measure or communication link these days. Let's start with this gentleman. he came out crying help 2 years back because his Samsung mobile was not functioning. And within 2 minutes, not only Samsung, but 5 other different CEOs from different mobiles reached him immediately. Now that was possible for him because he was Amitabh Bachchan and he is Amitabh Bachchan. But even when I posted on Facebook whether anyone knows how to forward Android and Airtel, we got also response within 2 minutes. Now, just understand the situation. Yesterday at 11:20 p.m., Mr. Amitabh Bachchan is getting hospitalized. All channels show that he has been getting hospitalized. His COVID report is unknown. We know that all channels knew it, but they were not, or they were reluctant to publish it. And this gentleman comes out and he himself puts on Twitter that I have been tested positive and those who were in my proximity should get himself tested. Now, this is the miracle or this is the power of social media. The whole India and probably the half of the world knew it within 10 minutes that Amitabh Bachchan is COVID positive and he is getting admitted. And all speculations came to zero within a second as soon as he posted it. So, we have been praying about all our COVID warriors. We have been praying about most of the people who have COVID, more than lakhs now. But a special prayer for Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. Pray for him, pray to him. Let's start with academic update. How does it work? This is how we used to do it a couple of years back. Many of us also used to do the same couple of years back. And what I'm doing? I'm attending a conference, Global Cardiometabolic Meet, and I'm listening to Finland speaker, Dr. Rajkot. Not only that, I'm talking with him as a speaker. Look at EMPIRE trial. EMPIRE trial was launched in, the results came in 2015. And my close friend, Dr. Bansi Sabu, was in Europe. Within the hall where EMPIRE trial was, the results were getting released. And before he put the results on our Wednesday group, I started posting him to his surprise. Because the EMPIRE trial results were declared 30 minutes on the Google, on their website, before it was published in the classroom of EASD. So that is what we have started learning, that social media do not require a physical presence anywhere. From buffet to dinner served on table. We were moving from one table to another. Now the dinner is being served on our table. Whatever we want to read, whatever we want to know, whatever we want to hear. If you want to hear Dr. Rajkot and Hitcon, we'll continue with it. Otherwise, we'll stop the video, we'll stop the audio and we'll be somewhere else. We can do it jolly well. Minimum cost, practically nil. And saving the matter for future reference because all these videos are being recorded. So that itself shows you get the answers from the best of the teachers. As you can see, Dr. Madhavi Desai is answering to a query. Now this is something which was not thought of 2 or 3 years back. 35 years of my practice and I never did this thing. We'll be learning and earning through the social media. No textbook. I can remember the date 9th April 2020 when one of our physician friends was there in the ambulance outside our HCG hospital. He was sent from municipal hospital to get admitted to our hospital. Nobody was there. And looking onto social media, I wore my PPE kit for the first time. Believe me, it was a horrified situation. Within 3 months, no textbook has ever written anything about COVID. But we have learnt a lot, everything from this social media, be it WhatsApp, be it the Facebook, or be it the references that we see on Google. Everything is available. This is the first disease that we have started learning through the social media. And we are now absolutely confident of treating it at the end of 3 months. But I can remember 3 months back, I did not know how to remove my PPE kit after meeting one of my physician friends in the ward. And then I had to open the social media, look at it and we removed it. Because We were not prepared. The first patient that we received came as a shocking surprise to us. No intimation was given. But since then, our hospital is having one of the best protocol, and touchwood, one of the best management at present in Gujarat. I can boast about it. Look at the Facebook or look at the different WhatsApp group. You have got so many groups. ECG group on Facebook, which teaches you ECG. Eco groups on Facebook. Believe me, all these things are there. The only thing that you require to do is to go to Facebook or any social media and write down what you want to learn, and you will do it. Discussing ECG, put any abnormal ECG, and there would be thousands of people who would give their comments on it and come out with the best solution. If you got a query for PowerPoint, I cannot create a PowerPoint, I cannot insert this. There are people who are going to help you out in your PowerPoint presentation also. Easy approach to experts, whether it is Dr. Madhavi Desai or Dr. Atul Patel or Dr. Pragnesh Vachrajani or Dr. Pradeep Joshi, name anybody in Gujarat or name anybody in India, and you got approach to all of them on different social media like Plexus MD, etc. You have got a difficult to diagnose case and you are not reaching, you are confused. Ask the patient to sit out for 5 minutes outside your consulting room and just put a message, and there would be people who would come out how to approach to this case. What next? What next investigation? What next treatment? Whether it is COVID or non-COVID, people are there to help you out on all social media and help you out without taking a single coin. Can't decide what to read. So many things on Google, so many things on different pharmaceuticals website. Everybody is trying to help you out and you can't decide. Then select a group. We have got a Wednesday group which puts, and we have got a family physicians group which puts only what you need. As I told you, from eating on different tables, now you're from buffet, the dinner comes on your table and as per your requirement. So this is something which we never see in first 30 years of our practice, and this has made the job so easy. Different, even you can come out with a topic and there would be lots of topic on social media and people would guide you that Indian guidelines for antibiotics for use in ICU, go to this channel. If you've got a question, there are people to answer you. If you've got a query, there are people to answer you. Not only that, there are people to add to it. Like this, there was a question asked to us about micturition syncope. I answered, and there were few experts like Dr. Madhav who could add and add diligently and very nicely. So you not only get the advantage of one person, you get advantage of the best of the people, and even the person who is guiding you gets the advice from his teacher, which helps him out also. If you want to argue, you have got multiple people who would continue arguing with you, of course, with proper knowledge. Let's talk about our patients, how social media is helpful to them. Well, you've got lots of very nice websites like Complete Diabetes Care Clinic, where they can go and find out what they want. Advice, appointments, motivation, groups, adjusting to the doses, information about the reports. 3 months back, we were skeptical about answering on WhatsApp and or other social media. Now the government says that you can answer and you can take charges about it. And so now it has become an ethical, legal practice. That is very wonderful. Groups on FB. Do you know there are groups on Facebook which discusses the problem of cancer survivors, which everybody coming out, the people who have suffered from it, coming out with their experiences, practical experiences, the problems they have faced. Creative use of profession, protection of practice group at Bhopal, and there are many in Gujarat now also, which we know that will protect you against goons. If you are in problem, there would be 5 more people who would rush to you. Not only that, now they have started, this is something very important, the same group start posting the right side of the case immediately when a controversy arises. And the unity which was not seen among medicos is now seen very well thanks to the social media. Health not necessarily by apps, but by motivation of our friends can be done. This is all about medical things. Now, not only medical things, our doctors, we also need relaxation. So we have got friends, including both genders, on net. How many of us knew where our college friends are prior to FB and WhatsApp? None. And suddenly we have got reunions and daily exchange of opinions with your buddies. How many of you believe that meeting old buddies on social media is fatigue? There are so many people who believe that this becomes a fatigue. This is not fatigue, this is relaxation. Believe me, you talk with them and you will relax. And you got an option. You can leave that group anytime, it becomes a headache for you. Family, we were visiting at the most one relative a week. Now we meet our relatives all at a time. Birth, achievement, success, wedding anniversary, everything can be celebrated and shared in real time and real time. Save time, cousins group, siblings and whatnot, you know more than what I know. You can share your whatabouts, whereabouts, moods, travel photos at once. And above all, you enjoy the birthdays. You can also get advice from the elderly and their experiences also. This is the best way to relax and to keep away from the burnout. You can share your interests and hobbies amongst the family and also amongst the people. જામનગરનો ઘૂંટો બનાવવાની રીત હોય કે પછી if there is an artist inside you, you can post and share. You can share short stories, photography, Shankar Jaikishan musical group. Want to check movie reviews? There are people to give you the reviews. Buddies on your group? Yes, our NHL group, everybody would have it. Want to play Antakshari? There are people who are ready to do it. Have to say a renowned author? Well, there are people, all authors are there now on the social media and you can meet them like Jaisha. You are depressed and need positive thoughts. Just as Dr. Previous speaker talked about positive thoughts. You can share those positive thoughts and bring people out of it. Travel, wonderful travel apps and advices, Airbnb, TripAdvisor, Visit a City, and so many things. Our Madrid experience, when we were traveling to Madrid, we just had to wait there for 6 hours. And while in the train, we posted a question on TripAdvisor, whether there are lockers on the stations. And we got 7 answers, including the way to the lockers, the amount that they charge, and the time it remains open, and the way to it. Everything was there within 5 minutes before we actually landed at Madrid. So it's wonderful. Noble causes. We all know fundraising things are available on this, and that mine experience where the whole school boys were saved. Everything came from the social media only. Weather updates are available on social media. Social media help police in the crime detection also, we all know. Society and social media, whether it is Swachh Bharat Abhiyan or cashless transaction, and for last 3 months, we have been posting videos on COVID, lifestyle disease prevention YouTube channel, where we are getting excellent social response and we feel proud, privileged and satisfied of performing the social duties, asking for masks, right? Positive impact of social media, we all know, ice bucket challenge. So everything is positive as we all know, but there is something which may be negative also. This social media people believe is not for common men or is not for gentlemen. Well, it is not true. I take 5 minutes and then we'll stop. So there are lots of sports injuries now, like selfie elbow, we all know. Ati sarvatra varjayat, જ્યાં પણ બધું વધારે પડતું થાય ત્યાં નુકસાન થાય. Beware of selfie deaths. Well, this has nothing to do actually with social media. Selfie has nothing to do with it. Even Narendra Modi is taking it. But, well, you have to be cautious of not taking selfie while driving or on a cliff or on a bridge. So you need to do it. Thanks to social media, our dictionary is just swollen. My wife is a professor of English and she hates the WhatsApp group. Trolling, FOMO, nomophobia, smartphone OCD, whatnot. Social media troll. Please be away from it. Don't join it. The moment there is a controversial troll and people have started using abusive, bad words. Go away from it. So don't feed the trolls. Same way, fear of missing out. This is something which I would like you to remember forever. Don't use this word who rahi gayo, FOMO. So always remember that you should not feel of missing out anything. फेसबुक पर सबसे ज्यादा झूठ बोले जाने वाला वर्ड है नाइस पिक्चर. That is how we finish everything. Facebook has seriously spoiled our language like ASAP, JSK, LOL, FYI, the minimum that I know. But my wife hates all these things. But there are even expression icons also. Something that we have been seeing for last 3 months or something that we have not been seeing for last 3 months. But thanks to social media, we have started seeing these good icons also. And the third one really keeps us dancing and enjoying. So everything is not bad. Well, caution to all my doctor friends. Please do not disclose the identity of the patient, either by face or by name. It's a criminal offense. So even if the patient has permitted you, please do not use it on social media. That is really serious. Burnout occurs, but you should be cautious. Why do you need apps? How do I pass my day? How do I avoid burnout? I start my day with Medico's Listeners Club, 7 o'clock in the morning. And all our colleagues, they get really rejuvenated. Then I go to, seriously I do this, I go to Wednesday group and family physician group. Read out the best information posted in last 24 hours by the best of academic apps from my best of academic colleagues like Dr. Manoj Vitlani or Dr. Madhav Desai or Dr. Sanjeev Phatak. They all come out with their best on this group. In the evening, I go to my buddies to find out what happened socially in 24 hours. And at night, I talk with my relatives, wish them birthdays and greetings. Chhana Majjani life. So you can use social media very creatively. And you get such sort of wonderful appreciation also. That you remember, સવાર nostalgic Pandora box ખોલી કાઢી અને મજા આવી ગઈ. And you get to share good things with them. If you believe that you have feelings of this kind with some musical WhatsApp message, you are not burnt out. Biggest joke of the century is computers and mobile were invented to save our time. Where it does not save time, I agree. But you have to be cautious of limiting time on social media. Addiction is everywhere. અતિ સર્વત્ર વર્જયત मैंने पहले भी कहा. અને એડિક્શન કોને નથી? સૌરાષ્ટ્ર હશે તો તમાકુનું હશે, સાઉથ ગુજરાત હશે તો દારૂ હશે, માફ કરજો. સંગીત, સિનેમા, અમદાવાદમાં અમારા જેવા હશે તો સંગીત ને સિનેમા હશે. મારા ને માધવભાઈ જેવા કેટલાક હશે કે જે સમયના ઓબ્સેસિવ હશે, 9 વાગે એટલે પહોંચી જ જવાનું. કેટલાકને મિત્રોનું ઓબ્સેશન હશે. So everything is there. The only way is to channelize it and guide them properly. There are always two sides of a coin. List of COVID warriors failing. Whenever we read the list whom we have lost, it seriously creates frustration and fear. Believe me, even the best of COVID warriors, I am not the best, but even the best of COVID warrior feels afraid the moment he reads the list whom we have lost. It is safer to remain away from how he died, at least, if not who died. Fake stories like the one I have shown in, a brave snake saving a fish from drowning. This is what media does. So please, check before you forward. Check with authentic source. If it is music, check with Dr. Anil Bhai. If it is academics, check with Dr. Pragnesh Bhai or Dr. Jashwant Darbar or Dr. Pradeep Joshi. If it is for example, anything related to the computer or mobile or technology, check with Dr. C.S. Butch. So, before checking with the authentic person, don't forward anything. Do not forward if you believe that it is not helpful to anybody. Don't forward figure. Forward only the facts, because statistics is like bikini. It can reveal more than what it unreveals. Honestly, I agree that social media is full of hypocrisy, show off, often misleading tall claims. But still, it is not bad. Just as we teach our children how to ride a bike or even a bicycle, or as we teach our young kids how to walk, we need to teach everyone. We need to learn ourselves how to navigate through the social media. If we can do it, we are in the best of hands. Coming to the last part of my slide, there are only two types of people on social media: those who lead and those who follow. Solutions to this: be sure before you enter the group. Is it of your choice? If not, leave it at the earliest. Select the strictest of group admin who does not allow anything but talk about the purpose of the group. Don't try to be first to get the news. That is what creates obsession. Never be first to get the to give the news, and never be first to share the news. If you are not there, there would be more people who would share the news. If nobody looks who first shared the news. Look at the WhatsApp today. Ask yourself, who posted Amitabh Bachchan's news first on the WhatsApp? Nobody remembers it. So don't try to be first, because that puts you lots of obsession and lots of tension. So just share the news, but don't be first to get the news and don't be first to share the news. Switch off the notification of all social media. Whenever you want to go there, you should go there, not that it should call you. And the best and most important thing is, let your better half be on the board. Whatever groups you are on, let your better half be on the board. With the better half, it is there on the board, but you let your better half be on there. That will convert social media into the better half, because there would be a vigilant eye on you, what and when you are there on that group. A doctor asks, a patient comes and asks, "Doctor, I am badly hit by noise pollution." Well, WhatsApp or social media is a pollution, but that does not mean that this is how you treat it. There are ways and means of doing it. So, ये शमा तो जली रोशनी के लिए, इस शमा से कहीं आग लग जाए तो ये शमा क्या करे? So social media is bad? No, it is very good. You require to use it judiciously to get masti rather than pasti. Even the cats update themselves, we require to update. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dr. Dhruv sir, for such a very interesting session and sparing time for us in this really tough times of Ahmedabad. IMA Rajkot has loved your lucid language very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks, IMA Rajkot, and thanks, Dr. Pragnesh and his team.
Thanks a lot, sir. Now I invite Dr. Rukesh Ghodasra, sir, Secretary IMA Rajkot 2020-21, for the vote of thanks. Over to Rukesh, sir.
Thanks, Krupal. Good afternoon, all. I think that's one of the best non-medical technological CME for Rajkot IMA by Hitcon. Thank you all. If one cannot update herself in a medical field for a certain level, they can hide it. But if one can technically poor, even layman or illiterate people can mark you in present technological era. So this is the need of day, and for that I would like to thank all our esteemed tech savvy doctor speakers, Dr. Debashish sir, Dr. Kashyap sir, Dr. Samir sir, Dr. Urmin Dhruv sir, our own Madhav Jasapra, as well as Quickies, Dr. C.H. Booth sir, and Dr. Chinmay Shah sir. Thank you very much all. Thank you from IMA Rajkot for such a nice and wonderful presentation. I would like to thank our moderator, Dr. Krupal Pujara, for moderating this session very much interesting. This webinar was not possible from the effort of our own past president, Dr. Chetan Lal Seta sir, and Pragnesh Vachrajani sir, and Hitcon team. So I would again thank Hitcon team, Dr. Pragnesh Vachrajani, Dr. Darbar sir, Dr. Chetan Lal Seta sir, and our technological support. I would like to tell Rusil Soni sir. Not without audience and our president sir and IMA committee, this webinar is not successful. So I would like to thank all of you. Thank you very much from IMA Rajkot. Have a good Sunday. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Rukesh bhai. It was a very nice opportunity. As I already told, we were quite enthusiastic to come to Saurashtra with Hitcon, and that's what we are here today. And we are happy to see the encouraging response that we are getting via various social media posts in live. So we are very glad to be here today. One more request, as Dr. Urman sir is already told, that be there in the specific group. We are running various groups on Hitcon Health Tech Technology updates. So this WhatsApp group category only talks about use of technology in healthcare. So if anybody is interested in joining, there is an option to fill up in that feedback form, or else you can send and WhatsApp to me, and we'll be gladly to add you in that Hitcon WhatsApp group. And I will request all of you to please feel free to share your feedbacks on the topics, the speakers that you like, more and more such topics that you would like to include us in future. And I would like to thank all the speakers who have spared their valuable time. Dr. Urman Dhruv sir, as we know, he is a frontline corona warrior, and still he has joined us after finishing his round in the hospital. And Dr. Kashyap, Dr. Samir Bhai, Dr. Saini, Dr. Butch, Dr. Darbar, and all other speakers, and Mr. Madhav from Rajkot. So we would love to have you in. And this is our first experiment of having such a half-day large seminar on Hitcon on this digital platform. We do keep organizing programs every week on different subjects. I hope we'll get more audience from Rajkot to join us now and then. And at the end, I will thank to the team IMA Rajkot for providing us this excellent opportunity, and obviously Dr. Krupal for very nicely moderating the session. There are a host of questions, but with the want of time, I think it's not possible to answer them all, but we'll definitely love to answer them in the Hitcon WhatsApp group. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pragnesh Bhai. Thank you, Pragnesh Bhai. Thank you all the speakers for such a wonderful seminar on technology. Thank you. It was our pleasure, in fact, Pragnesh Bhai.
Thank you, Dr. Dhruv sir. Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.